exhibits instead of in the main body of the public-facing budget. You all have all the details. I started auditing the city back in 2010. I did that for 20 years or so, and then I moved out of auditing and into consulting. So I've been doing that here for a few years, and in other municipalities throughout the state.
Bill Meyer, fifth ward councilor.
Laurel Watzak, third ward.
Chance Kennedy, first ward councilor.
Jonathan Asline, second ward.
John Fitzgibbon, fourth ward councilor.
Tim Plunkett, sixth ward councilor.
Shane Thompson, 7th ward.
Paul Canzone, fire chief.
I will never remember.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is,
sorry.
for those that don't know, this is the assistant chief, Mike Saluski. So, we'll get you.
Before we get into Paul's, could I ask 2 questions if you're coming? Yeah. Okay. I did ask for clarity on 2 questions. What were the estimated sales tax used within the formation of the budget? Obviously, the budget is revenue, tax levy being one of other significant revenues. So what would be the number that was used? And the second, as it relates to AIM and TMA for the proposed budget, what are the amounts used for both of those?
Okay. Do you want to take this, Rob? You want me to do it?
Oh, go ahead. No, you've got the numbers right there.
All right. So the sales tax is on, in the general fund revenue section. We used 24 million. The 26 budget was 22 million.
What was it, 20?
24 million.
That was for 2024?
For 26,
26.
the budget was 22,129,000. So that's an increase of 1,870,000.
Okay.
And I'm going to round up as much as possible.
Are you comfortable with what you're feeling on trending for sales tax?
We used trends when we were talking about the revenues.
Because the most recent of the adjusted trends showed we closed 2025 at 23,140.
But things
We
are,
closed 2025 at 23,140. And year to date, we're tracking 9% higher over last year. Just an observation.
Just,
I just want to raise a question. So
I got to tell you, I didn't make any management decisions in this area.
I'm just asking. I wanted to know the source of the information that we use. The trend is stronger than what we are using.
I provided the trends of actual 24, actual 25, and budgeted 26.
Sure.
And conservative estimates were made based on those numbers.
Okay.
I can chime in there, and I'm the one that made that decision. And you've got the same chart that I have, and I based it on the fact that through 6 months of this year, which is January through July, we were at essentially $13 million, $12.9 million.
Yep.
And I know from all my experience, 11 years, that the remainder of the year is actually, I used the numbers for the last couple years, the last half of the last couple years, and I extrapolated that, and I came up with a number, a realistic number of about $25 million. If you add in the average of what we did the previous 6 months, last 6 months of the year. So I felt that if we have a good shot at 25 million, putting 24 million in the budget was still a conservative number.
Okay.
That's where
I guess I'm not arguing that. I just, so that collectively we know what makes up revenue. I think it's clear that when we talk about levy, sales tax is a significant portion of how we keep the city running. And projections and trending, being conservative is not fiscally wrong. I don't argue that.
Well, I think it's better than being too aggressive and too overconfident.
Second question is AMI and TMA. What do we use for those?
Okay, so that is in revenue code 3001.
Yep.
And the total of those is 2,736,393. So we basically used the same number as realized in 2025. Now, the 2026 number is going to be about $500,000 higher.
Yes, we got a notice about 500,000.
That was a little bit of a surprise. But it's based on the excess of sharing after the state does their allocation. And it's actually in the title of it called temporary. So I don't know how the politics is going to play into this particular revenue source.
Sure.
If there's a change in Albany, will that affect that? I don't know. So it seemed like it made more sense to have it reflect what happened in reality in 25 than what we're hoping will happen again in 27 based on 26.
But we do have, and certainly our local senator is chair of this Senate Cities Committee, and delivering an additional $520,000 to our budget now.
It's in 26.
Well, we just got it.
Yes,
The checks were just issued in the last 2 weeks.
yes.
So that wouldn't go to our current budget, that
Right.
would go to our proposed budget we're trying to work on right now. correct?
It will go to fund balance
Fund
if there,
balance, but
if
but-
there's anything left
But
at the end of
it's aid for
26.
budgeting process, I would think. Would we use it for aid?
I don't think I would count on it because we received it in August of 2026, right?
Yep.
What we received in August of 2025 was only 240,000.
They tripled it.
Right, but we don't know it's going to be triple in,
And it is
for
called
August
temporary
27.
municipal aid. So again, that was a judgment that I made, that if it's called temporary municipal aid and it went from 50 million to 100 million in the state budget.
It went to 150 million.
You can't count on that being the same case in 2027.
It went
So
from 50 to
again,
100
I was conservative in my estimate, and you just said that it's not a bad thing to be conservative.
Well, it's not a bad thing to be conservative, it's also not a bad thing to be transparent. So what this city received is $500,000 more this year than we got last year, and we talk about a revenue that we're going to go to the taxpayers and ask for more. We ought to be transparent of what our state senator and our governor is delivering as to relief for our budget and the constraints that we have. And if we choose not to take it within a budgetary relief, that's a decision to make, but I don't think we can not talk about it. So those are my questions.
Okay.
Would you like to me to give you guys a brief of the fire department operations, goals, vision, that kind of thing, before we start, or do you have specific questions? So our in your packets that I gave you on Monday, we set 3 strategic goals when I became fire chief. The number 1 goal is improve available capacity for all alarm types. That just means have the right number of people on the right calls. So that's when I do the budget, each year, I think I probably told the mayor this when I first became chief, I'll always ask for more people and more help. That's where we get our work done. If we don't have people on the fire trucks, doing our work becomes a lot more dangerous and inhibits our ability to perform. So that's the driving force between everything we do. The second goal is developing our people. We have about 40% of our people retiring in the next 5 years, ish. Right? So we're working hard to develop our people, train them up. Also that, when we're long retired, that the department is still running as it should. And then the third goal is just to get along with all of our stakeholder partnerships, including you guys. So have a good work relationship with everybody so that we can, work on, capitalize on strengths and plug in holes where we have a little, some opportunities. So those are the 3 goals, and they've been pretty. I thought for a while they weren't. I thought it might be kind of a dynamic thing where we would change, maybe become more comprehensive, but it turns out they drive the department really well. So I don't expect them to change. So again, that's what drives my budget. So you know, there's other things in our packet, like the, you know, the staffing. One of the asks in the budget was to go up from, we had a minimum of 8 people working. We have anywhere between 8 and 12 people working every day. I'm asking to increase that by 1 to 9, not, I would have liked to add 4 more firefighters, but I don't know, I don't know that we're in a position to do that. You know, but that's a nice thing to try to strive for, right? So a new firefighter is about $60,000, plus you add fringe, which is 80, counting 85%.
I would go at least 70%.
So like maybe double the salary, so $100,000 for a firefighter, right? So, I would love to get there with the collective bargaining agreement as it is. We have a buffer of 3 people can be off at any given time using vacation, comp time, and personal time. So if 3 people off, then we have a buffer. The 9th person could be off on sick or whatever, we still would need overtime. So, we're gonna lose that buffer if we don't hire more people, but again, we're all bound by what we can do with our budget. So, when I talked to Mayor Cordino in July, I asked for 4 more people, and you know, we quickly realized we're looking at a tax increase and hiring 4 additional, adding to the footprint of the fire department. Probably isn't going to happen this year. So, and I'm good with that. We will do with what we have. So, in general, our equipment is in good shape. As you know, we have two brand new fire engines, and we have a new ladder truck that's ordered. I wouldn't anticipate any major heavy equipment purchases. We've got a couple of vehicles out. Part of the ask with the additional overtime is to backline one of the vehicles that we had wanted to replace. That'll help lengthen the service life of that vehicle. So we'll put it in sort of reserve status, but it'll be a Marine support unit. We'll tow the boats with it, and kind of, so that'll be a good benefit there. So, so I'm happy to entertain any questions you'll have about the department or the budget. Would you like me to talk about the cuts I discussed yesterday?
That'd be great.
Would you mind?
So
Yes,
let me-
please.
I was just going to say that the numbers you see here do not reflect those cuts,
Okay.
because I wanted to do those after you all had a chance to talk about them.
So the cut, so I came up with $307,000 of cuts. Now, when I met with the mayor, in defense of the mayor here, we cut $742,000 out of the budget in our meeting, and you know, we felt okay about it. I hadn't intended on going through and making another $300,000 in cuts, right? These are all things we're gonna need at some point. I don't know that we're gonna need them in '27, but and some of them are based on assumptions. So when we look at the personal services line, $112,500, some of those, to get there, we're gonna have to we're gonna negotiate a contract soon. The contract runs out at the end of the year. We're gonna have to negotiate some language to get, you know, to get there. So that's why it didn't come up before. We're gonna have to, so when you talk about, you know, should we assume we're gonna get there? I don't know, but I'm comfortable with the cuts that they're not gonna affect service. However, if we need a heat pump next year and we don't have the money, I'll have to come back and ask. So, I do think the budget, the way it stands right now with these cuts, they're aggressive. I felt compelled to help yesterday when I talked to the counselors. You know, I may have to come back and ask. There may be things that should be funded, but as a department head, it's hard for me to realize where we're at in current time with the budget, because the budget process goes from, you know, I work on the budget all year, and we're ready for when the mayor sends the call letter out. So, but it's very dynamic. It's hard. We have no reference of where we're at each day. So when I get a phone call yesterday, I don't know where we were at 2.97. I knew that from when we all got the budget last Monday. So while I'm confident that these cuts in these accounts won't affect the job we do on the streets, there might be equipment we need to buy that's not funded. This is all, there's no equipment, there's no expense in the budget that we don't need. But need, when you're talking about our department, and probably Chief Cades and Commissioner Revigours, it's, need is subjective and objective at the same time. It's, we could go back and forth whether we need something. We may disagree. So I'll just, just say that. Some of this is like, we'll have to absorb, we'll have to figure it out if we cut this $307,000. And we will. I mean, we'll do our best to figure it out. But I can't guarantee we'll be back next year if we have something breaks. We're asking to forecast long ahead. That's just the process. Everybody else in the same boat. So I'm happy to go through each line and explain how I got there if you want, or if you have specific questions, I have an answer. So.
Chief, first of all, I'd like to thank you very much for
Thank you.
cutting the
Absolutely.
$307,000 after we spoke to you yesterday. I know it was a lot of work for you. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
And if any of the councilmen have any questions about, if you want to go through each line or whatever, they'll get started, go around the table or whatever you want to do.
I looked at it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll just,
You run a very professional department, grateful for your service, grateful for the outcome you achieved for the city. And certainly I think the work that you've done on the budget, hopefully this will give you the tools to continue to do that for another year with your department. So I'm good with this.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you for our conversation yesterday. It was quite lengthy, and we did take quite a bit of your time, but it was very informative. And you came across professionally, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
is there any materials or items, if you could go back and re-add them to the budget, is there any items you would want added just because of condition or safety reasons?
Well, the firefighter turnout gear, I think we talked before about this. So that's in our strategic plan. And right now, turnout gear is about $4,500 a set. That's just the pants and the coat. It's not the boots, the helmets, or anything like that. And you can't buy what I'll call legacy turnout gear now. So they have new turnout gear that has has reduced PFAS, forever chemicals. So there's plastics in these water premises. So there's a law where you can't get this. So we all have to be compliant with this new gear. So we have to have 2 sets for everybody. I think right now the technology is such that I don't know that we want to buy all 100 sets, right? And we probably wouldn't want to afford it. Not many departments are doing that right out of the gate, replacing all the gear. But that's I budgeted, or my capital plan was 25 sets per year the next 4 years. So if we find out that we want to buy 25 sets next year as planned, I'd love to be able to do that. That helps keep the firefighters safe. We're going to try to edit these 100 sets of gear over the next 4 years is going to be challenging. So that's probably one thing I'd like that if I could pick one thing, I would probably fund that. But also, it's also worth saying that the priorities change. Like this, we're taking a snapshot in time of monetary needs for next year, and I put all the examples, the line items there. There's no guarantee we're going to spend $5,000 on hazmat supplies.
Yeah.
We may reprioritize. We may have to reprioritize to buy something else. The $5,000 might be better spent elsewhere, and we do that all the time, constantly. So, but with the turnout gear, that's something I would like to stick to if we could afford it. Right, 25 sets over 4 years. Every firefighter has to have 2 sets. It's the responsible thing to do for our firefighters' health and safety. So, there's a little bit out of each account. The 40,000 and the 460 account. I did get an email today. That was based on an assumption also. The mayor and I talked about this on July 22nd. So yesterday when I talked to you, Bill, I said, I feel very good that the paramedic training is gonna be funded by the New York State Department of Labor.
Yeah.
In the SUNY system. So they combined, they have this job apprenticeship funding program. And I got an email from the Department of Labor today, just saying, you know, I'll be your representative. So it wasn't a congratulations, you're approved letter, but it was something. So I feel good that the paramedic funding is going to be handled. Now that may be political each year, right? That may be a, that could change. It has to be funded, and I'm not quite sure what the cycle is there. So, but for right now, it sounds like our paramedic funding is going to be funded. So for next year, the $40,000, I feel good about that. Vehicle maintenance, the $25,000 we cut in vehicle maintenance. You know, you never know when a turbo on a fire engine is about $6,000 or $7,000, and you know, and so. But I would assume that even though we kept one of the engines that we're gonna have to maintain, I would assume that $25,000, I'm assuming we're gonna be okay, but when a fire truck breaks, we have to fix it, right? So, and then, you know, there's the EMS budget, where the $15,000 and $7,000, we're just gonna absorb that into our 410 and 440 account in the fire department. Again, it's just, we're gonna have to do, spend a lot of time. The good thing is I'm pretty frugal for the first 2 3/4 quarters of the year, so, and then we'll, you know, we'll buy what we need, so long-winded answer. The turnout gear is, you know, I would like to fund that.
So just to be transparent, to fully fund 25 sets, it's $112,500. Currently, based on the cuts that were proposed, that you supplied, I calculated about 56,000.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the exact number, but about
Yeah,
56,000.
I took 50 out. I think I took 50,000 out of the 480.
Is there any way you can tell me what you took out of each one so that I can reflect it here?
Yes. Yeah.
And then if you guys want to put stuff back in, just let me know.
You want me to do that now?
Yes,
All right.
please.
So
I got the 112
So
signed.
there's two different, so it's the 3410 fire department budget and also the 3411.
Right.
So the 3410, account number 410, 31,600. 440, 15,900.
Oh, not 159,000. That would be incorrect.
450, 10,000. 460, 40,000. 470, 25,000. 480, 50,000. I missed the 101, so
I got that. It was 112,500, right?
500. Do you need a breakdown of that?
It's all under this one line item for me.
Okay. And then the 3411 EMS education, 410,
Mhm.
15,000.
So we're making that go away.
Yeah.
And the 7.
And then 460, 7,000.
And I could have just put zeros in there, but I want to be able to go back and track my activity, just in case anybody's wondering.
So, you know, and my opinion on the turnout here could change.
Okay.
More time to think about it.
Yeah, could I just throw something out there? Because safety, especially for the fire department, you guys are going into possibly burning buildings, trying to save lives. Turnout equipment is essential. I know we spoke, and you mentioned the current version is not as comfy.
Yeah.
So I think you mentioned you could extend it out to 7 or 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. So if I did a calculation, or on the original budget, it was 25 sets over 4 years, so that's 100 sets. So if I broke that out by 6 years, you would actually need 16 sets for this year instead of 12, which for 16 sets is $72,000, which is about $16,000 more. I know each firefighter gets 2 sets, correct?
Correct.
And some of them are about to expire or have expired. And that's actually a concern, and I think 16,000 would be reasonable to add.
Do you know offhand how many are expire or expiring in the next year?
Not right now, but I could have that for you tomorrow. So we have a tracking system, so.
Do we need extras as well for like
We try,
future?
we keep the gear, when people retire, we
Okay,
keep
that's
the
what,
gear.
yes.
Right, but then it becomes, once it's no longer serviceable, we can't send the people to the academy in that gear.
Got
The
it.
academy will not have it. So we actually had to send some to be destroyed. We can't just throw it in the dumpster and then have the gear end up on. So we have to, there's a regulation we have to follow to make sure it's destroyed, and I have to write a memo and everything, so. So yeah, we do keep the gear if it's still serviceable and within the service life, when people retire.
And what is the service life?
It's 10 years, 10 years.
Should this be on a plan where we're replacing it like, kind of like trucks and the buses in the school system?
Rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just so everybody understands, the 100 sets is only a thing because they changed the spec on this gear.
Yes.
So the legacy gear, we're gonna have to get rid of. Every city is in this, every fire department's in the same boat. So, and you need 2 sets. If someone goes to a fire, they have to launder, they have to, put their gear in the washer, and they have something else to put on while they're working. So, if they get another call. So, that's why they need 2 sets. So, I would highly recommend, like, we would love to be on a replacement plan. It's not impossible to do, but certainly happy to put together a long-term plan for that. It's $4,500 isn't a huge expense, so I don't know that we haven't captured that yet. But being the quantity we have, we probably should.
What's the lead time on it?
About 6 weeks.
6
Okay.
weeks, so about a month and a half.
Pretty
So,
quick, considering
Yeah.
other fire stuff.
so if one set got destroyed, it would probably have to go through council for adjustments, I'm assuming, budget adjustments to order a new set.
We buy gear every year, but, and so that's so we can buy gear out of the 480 account. We probably could also buy it out of the 410. But we try to use the 480. So, and I don't know what I had budgeted, how many sets. We're talking about ordering gear right now.
Yeah. It just lists 25 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's for the new stuff, but we have people right now, I think, I'm gonna probably order maybe 5 sets before the end of this year for current people. And it'll be the new spec gear, so, so it'll be, in the 100, we'll, as we hire people and order gear, they don't come off that total, so.
And one of the good things about doing it in groups, like sets of 25, is you could open yourself up for grant funding, right?
Yeah, we
Potentially.
applied for grants. Somebody asked me that. We have applied for grants. It's a very popular grant item, equipment and gear. So a lot of these, so one of the strategies for all of these reductions is find grant money for it. So we've been fairly successful in doing so. But you never, again, you can't count on it. But, so yeah, we applied for. There's 3 grants every year we apply for, assistance to firefighters grants, and we apply for turnout gear whenever we can.
So you said you were planning on buying 5 sets this year,
I
correct?
believe so, yeah.
So to stay on schedule with your 25, you would need 20 sets for next year, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it has to be like, what we've been doing, somebody will start and go to the academy in used gear. You don't want it, because they're crawling around down the academy on concrete floors, and they're just junking up the gear. So that, in the perfect world, becomes their backup gear when they get back. We have a brand new set of gear for them when they get out of the fire academy. So that's what.
Okay.
So we have 2 people in the fire academy right now. They'll come back to brand new sets of gear, and hopefully their gear will still be serviceable enough where it can be their backups.
Okay.
So
But we could still stay on schedule at the 25 if we did it, if we brought in 20 sets for next year.
Yes.
Is there any discount to buying in bulk?
I do not know the answer to that question. Probably.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yeah, so do you expect, I mean, I don't know if you know, but like the equipment itself, so it's whatever it costs this year, like 2 years down the road, I mean, it could be more, like.
It will be more, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's
how do we plan, I guess, for like future, like, or we're just doing it 1 year at a time? I'm just,
It goes up 3 to 5%, like most of our, commodities,
Okay.
it's pretty typical. Never goes down. I haven't seen that yet in my career, so. Yeah, and right now, to Councilor Thompson's point, the gear, it's like the first, I guess, version of this new PFAS-free gear. And it's very hot to wear and very bulky to wear. It doesn't have the protective chemicals, but it turns out that the chemicals that are in it are harming people. You're soaking those chemicals through your skin and exposing yourself to, carcinogens. So I don't know if it's better or worse. So now the studies are like that people are getting more heat stress because they're wearing this gear. But I do think as time goes on, the gear manufacturers will find efficiencies in the construction of the gear. So, but it will. I would bet it won't become cheaper. But there may be a volume discount, which I can check into. So.
gotcha, thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Nothing else? I'm available if you guys have anything after, email me.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
very
Thanks,
much.
Chief.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Being an old fireman, I can tell you how important that gear is. Being in a house fire, you want good stuff. You don't want, and you want the latest and the greatest if you can get it for as much protection as you can get. So that's a definite, something we ought to look into adding back.
Agreed, at least up to like 16 sets, because he did mention that current ones do cause heat stroke, so we want to keep that in mind.
Well, if he's doing five sets, then we could stay on schedule if we just kicked in 20, and what's another 4 sets going to
Yeah, let's
cost?
see how the next,
Another set's,
If it changes a lot, maybe this can go next year.
you're talking another 18,000 for the other 4 sets. I mean, it's, I think that's a reasonable amount.
Chief Katie.
Hello. You guys need me to introduce myself, or do we need any introductions?
it is being live streamed.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
First of all, I'd like to thank the chief for coming in the same exact budget, 2026, with no budget increases. Thank you very much. I'm sure that was a lot of work.
Yeah, the mayor charged all the department heads with ensuring that we have a tight budget. I took a look at the current budget, 2026, and I tried to map out as best I could for 2027. I actually think I'm about 1.6% lower than I was for this year. We were able to do some internal maneuvering, some positions that we need to add or change, and we were able to accomplish, I think, a fairly reasonable budget. I appreciate the budget committee reaching out. Like I said, I did the best I could with this and tried to keep it under what the current budget is to help you guys out and the mayor out as best that we could.
Questions, comments for the chief? I know you have a few people in the academy right now.
Yep, well, we actually have one. We had 2 that did not pass the academy,
Gotcha.
so we actually have interviews with some new hires on Monday for the mayor to decide.
When is the current position coming out of the academy? How much longer?
She'll be done at the end of October.
Okay. Great,
So
so
pretty
it's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So you're filling another spot.
Yep.
Good.
So, since I took over in 2020, our manning has gone from 47 officers. We're at now, our authorized strength is 52. And that we've added over the years. We didn't make all that change at one time. It's been a little difficult with the recruitment. Historically, we would have 300 or 400 people take the entry-level test, and now we're down to about 35 to 40 that will take the test, and then generally half of those show up for the PT test, and then about half of those fail the physical agility test. So it makes it difficult. Under the former administration, which you and Mayor Cordino were part of, under Mayor Barlow, the new contract, we were able to get the salaries up for the officers, so they're comparable, not as high, but comparable to Onondaga County departments, which has helped us stave off a lot of people lateraling out, transferring out. We've also pushed as hard as we can to hire people locally, people that are from the area, and that's kind of helped stabilize our manning. So I'm happy to say, compared to most departments, we're fully staffed, and I think that's just a sign that we're doing the right thing.
Questions or comments for Chief Katie? From anyone at all?
Thanks, Chief, for the phone conversation yesterday. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I went back, I took a look. We were able to take another $10,000 out of the budget. I had money budgeted. We were partnering with SUNY Oswego for a Spanish for emergency first responders, basic Spanish class. That has been delayed indefinitely. It was approved by SUNY, but the professor that was heading the program up is leaving to take another position. So until that position's filled, we're kind of in a holding pattern. So it may be something that we as a department come back to you next year and say this is going to kick off in the spring semester or the fall of 2027 semester, but at this point it's on hold.
So you aren't looking at hiring any more mental health clinicians at this time, correct?
So Mayor and I discussed that. I think that's going to be up to the council. We have the one. I gave you the numbers. I can go over that quick if you want.
If you could, that'd be great.
One mental health clinician, which includes the supervising and the different things they have to do to keep their license through Helio Health. It's $153,000 and change for the year. To have two, it's $248,000, almost $249,000, so it's about a difference of $96,000. If that's something you want to add, I'm not opposed to it, but I think that you as a council are going to have to figure out where you want to take that money from or find that money to add to the budget. I think it's a worthwhile program. It's a program that I've pushed hard to create, and we've been fortunate enough to have grant funded until now. But if we're going to keep this program that's been successful, and you guys heard when we funded it through the rest of this year, you know, she does a lot. She has a lot of contacts, and she's put a lot of people in help with services. So if we had another person, that's just more hours in the day that we have coverage, and we can help people out and help people that are in crisis. But budgeting-wise, it's what you as a council are comfortable with. Whether you're adding it to this budget, taking it out of reserve funds, how you want to do it. I got to kind of throw the ball back in your court.
Chief, with that particular line, it has revenue associated with it as well, though, doesn't it?
I don't have specific numbers. Helio, we're getting better with their record keeping, and their record keeping, and they're finding that there is a revenue stream there. They can bill for certain services. So I can't give a specific number, and I wouldn't want to fall back on a specific number.
Sure.
But there are services they can charge for to help support the program. And if they do that, it will cover their hourly rate.
So the gross exposure for a second clinician is $98,000.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
But it might be net of something less than that.
Correct.
So even for the amount that we have on our budget, which is showing as an expense, Are you, does it, do you pick it up as revenue, or how do you pick up the revenue, the build?
I didn't have any numbers to give them
So
for
they might
revenue
not
for
be,
billing.
they might not be matching up or netting out
Right.
in any way.
And I can find, and that's what we discussed, Counselor Thompson brought that up when we asked for the 60,000 to make it through the rest of this year. That's something I can pull and
Yep.
send you guys an email on, so you have that, just to give you a general idea of where we're at this year.
Yeah.
But I don't have that specific
And
number.
I appreciate that, because I know this is a new program. I know it was originally funded by a grant initially that brought the service to the community. It did not reduce the professional public safety staff. It was an addition, so we didn't do it at the expense of public safety staff. And it's certainly, the one clinician is on our budget, not really at a true cost, because it's something less than that, because there's an allocated income that's coming as a result of that. The second clinician is proposed at a cost, might be something less. So the net of both of those is probably less than what we're looking at.
Correct.
If we were to consider those. And I do think that from a community point of view, outcomes are achieved, emergency room, wait times, services provided by other providers in our community, by the and the service of EMTs and the first responders in our fire department. I would encourage us to look at that. And if it doesn't come by way of this process, I would be open to hear a conversation about a budget amendment, if that's how we deal with these things, if we don't have the information now. But I don't want to force the question right now, but I do think it's an ongoing conversation if we don't have, it has other social costs in the community, and I think we can help to stem some of the tides in areas that we can help control outcomes.
And I think too that we have some time, because even if this is decided, it's still not for the 2027 budget, and we would have to go through an interview process. There's people that will apply for the job, counselors that will apply for the job. We have to go through that process. Helio has to go through their process, so they're not necessarily going to start on January 1 if it's,
Right.
if it's a program that if
Sure.
we decide to add the second person.
And there's multiple steps. This is a big picture economic financial impact discussion, but there's so many operational things, and I understand that we're trying to maintain the most cost-effective outcome for taxpayers. But I think from a community point of view, I think it's a valuable program. Your support of it has been great. I think it's visible in the outcomes that we see in the community. It's visible in other aspects of the community, and I appreciate your embracing it, and I'd like to see if we
Thanks.
can help you.
Yeah, and I think, everything's a cycle, right? So last year, our, homeless issue in the city was not as profound as it was the previous year. This year, our numbers are up, our contacts are up this year. So it's not a for lack of a better term, it's not a problem that's gonna go away.
No.
It might be okay for a year, but it might be worse the next year. So, as a city, we've been ahead of the curve with this, and we're one of the first, like I said, we're one of the first programs in central New York, in the state for that matter. So, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, and anytime you're providing this kind of care 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, where the population that you serve and the responses you have are, one person integrating with your staff, that's a pretty heavy lift.
Yep.
And so, I think that, pragmatically to help you do what you do, I continue to support moving down the road with that conversation.
And Gina, our staff clinician, she tries to work off hours, but she has a normal life as well as like everybody else, a family life, so having a second person, if that's the way you guys decide to go without cutting law enforcement services,
Sure.
I think it's a noble idea.
Oh, Chief Katie?
Yes.
Okay, and this might be for Colleen too. So let's just say, for hypothetical sake, we decide that we want to go forward with like having a second clinician. We find the money, whatever. And then that we have to go through the process like you had stated, like interviewing and Helio and all that. And the person doesn't start till like second quarter of, or Yeah, third quarter. Now, that would obviously change your budget, so would that, like, extra funding, would that go somewhere else? Like, I don't know how that would work.
No, I mean, it's, Helio bills us on a monthly basis, so
Okay.
they won't be billing us for that person if they're not working.
But like the
there.
first, like, 3 months, for example, like,
It'd
they
be
were-
a proration of them.
Yeah.
okay, I wasn't sure how that part worked. Okay, all right.
Our biggest issue with that is, and you guys know this, I'm preaching to the choir, but we're out of space in the station to
Yeah.
put people. So it's, desk space and all that, it's a critical need, but, we'll figure it out until we figure out the bigger.
Just
plan
have
of
like
what we're
bunk
gonna do.
desks or something? Like,
Yeah,
they
bunk
make
bed, that's
bunk
true.
desks?
It's a good idea. Don't get any ideas.
Other questions or comments for the chief? Thank you, Chief.
Okay,
Katie?
thanks.
Thank you,
Chief.
Chief.
I want to add,
Sure.
I'm thankful for the service that you and Assistant Chief Waters have given to the city. Thank you for running the professional department. Thanks for the outcome you're achieving. And again,
Thanks.
looking forward to another year. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Captain Thompson, thank you for coming. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This might be a good time to pass.
thank
I
you.
don't see Craig here yet, so let me pass out the revised budget
Just a salad course.
for, no salad today.
Salad course.
You're on your own.
Thank you.
Okay,
And these are just the budget line items that actually changed.
right. Colleen printed this, well, she changed it and I printed it out. We were a team.
So this is,
Oh, these are, okay. I see.
These are those salary mistakes and adjustments and people moving.
so do we have a tote board?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Tote board?
I got a tote board right here.
Yeah, what's
Our current tax levy is 13.7.
13.7?
Then we're 342 under the tax cap,
Okay,
and an increase in the tax levy of 1.1.
okay, great.
That's with the fire department changes. Because what I had showed you when you first walked in was without those.
Yeah.
And we haven't made any other changes since then.
Now, does that also include, I believe there was a mistake or something that was doubled. Does that include that correction?
Yeah,
The $52,000?
two- yeah, 2
We already
pages
made
or-
that change.
I made that
Okay.
change, and I
We
made
made
all
that
the
change on
changes.
Tuesday.
Sorry.
No. And there's this in your twice, that's not in your twice, correct, in actual budget. The paper's in your twice, but not in your budget.
Okay, the reason it's in there twice is because it's supporting two different line items. One is the salary line, and one is the transfers to community development. So the first one in your packet supports,
Number 1 of 14 for the operating.
I'm sorry, what?
Trying to find it.
Midway through, quarter of the way through, number 1 of 14.
Gotcha. Okay.
First one, and then it's duplicated by 13 and 14.
So it supports the Department 1221, okay, and transfers to community development at, way down here, at 9906. This is to support the city loan program. So that's why it's in there twice.
Okay.
It's confusing,
Yeah,
but
that's confusing. I was like, wait, why?
I was trying to put them in numerical order.
So, can you scroll? Wait again.
Absolutely.
Let me see that real quick. I have it, okay. I have it as a 992.
I may have changed the number, but this is A 9906 460.
And then what is the second part? A11,
1221, I
okay,
think.
so this is the second part.
And that's just the salary part.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What time is Craig supposed to be here? Isn't he next?
Yes, he was staggered after police, or fire police, and then,
But you're ahead of schedule?
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I just texted him, said we're ready for him now.
Yeah, he's usually right in the audience first, you know what I mean?
Let's see what he says. He's on his way.
Perfect.
Would you mind scrolling back up? I'd like to see the total for the DPW.
Total?
Well, there-
Another update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know which
Another
part
update.
of the DPW you're talking about.
Is there a overall? I thought,
There is not an overall total for DPW. DPW, he's in charge of so many different departments.
Yeah.
That's why there's a whole separate schedule of his line items.
The previous council found that confusing also. They commented 2 years ago when they started that it is confusing because you got street lighting, you got parks, you got
Yeah,
garage.
like, there's stuff that overlaps. in
Garage,
there,
yeah, I
you know,
mean,
like-
so it's a complicated and, you know, when he gets here, he can explain it to you, but it's not just one line item under DPW.
So yes, I wish I could do that for you, but no.
okay.
I think in the future, we might be able to include it with the title page. But if we make changes,
Then
it's
that-
not going to be as dynamic
Yeah.
as this. But I think that if that total is going to help in some way, then we can add that to the title page or somewhere in the exhibit in the future.
On the revenue side, this particular budget, there's no spend down of fund balance for this budget. Is that correct?
No. I don't, it's not fully funded by, I guess I,
Well, my question is funded by the sales tax, right? So
the whole,
within this, we're not spending down unallocated fund balance to mitigate the tax burden.
overall for general fund, which includes DPW, police, fire, and everything else, there is a spend down of available fund balance of $1,050,000.
Okay. And that's a varying number year to year. It's discretionary on the basis of management.
It is.
A good example of that is that $500,000 that we got of TMA. That went into the general fund, so we have an extra $500,000 that we didn't know we were going to get. So that increased the general fund savings account.
So, but I guess my own point is that the more the council understands the source of revenues and the allocation of revenues, the clearer it can be, you know? So actually, with that explanation, the additional $500,000 that came from the TRA would be better described as a subsidy from the state this year rather than a spend down of unallocated fund balance. It's a matter of semantics, but we're not spending savings, we receive the money. Correct?
You're not done with 26 yet, so I don't know if you spent it yet.
Pardon me?
You're not done with 2026 yet, so I don't know if it's been spent. It's,
But it can't be spent if it's not budgeted.
oh.
Of course we can spend it.
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I get a little sarcastic. Whenever you do a budget amendment
Yep,
and it isn't supported by a corresponding revenue,
yeah,
you're taking it out of fund
I
balance.
understand.
So,
We can only approve those.
right. Correct.
So if we haven't approved it for spending of unallocated fund balance, it hasn't happened. I don't know that we've
$500,000?
Well, you still got 4 more months to
I
go.
understand.
You don't know the future.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's,
But that's why, that's again coming back to why we need month-to-date
yeah.
budgeting information, so that we can be part of this planning that can see where we are percent of budgets, because we are on certain lines in excess of budgeted amounts, particularly health benefits, tracking 2 years excessive budget, so that's the transparency of the questions, and then that question.
No, I'm not fighting with you.
I know.
I'm just
I
saying
don't
that,
sense
wait,
you are.
I can't tell you that this $1 million includes that 500,000. It could be 20,000 from here and 10,000 from there, and
But the 500,000 was placed in that.
it will, if there's anything left of it, it will
Oh, it's
roll
not right
into fund
now.
balance.
Oh, it's not right now.
Right now, it hasn't been earmarked for any particular purpose.
There's a check coming into us the next 30
Okay.
days from the
Okay.
state.
Okay. And when it goes in though, it'll go into the.
It just goes into the general operating fund.
Okay. That right now includes the 500 or does not include the 500? The 100, or it's just magically in there.
Okay. So what the million is you're borrowing fund balance from the end of 2026. I could tell you about what the fund balance is at the end of July. I can tell you what it was at the end of 2025. I can't tell you what it's going to be at 2026. So when you did the 26 budget, like they took 2 million of fund balance to support the budget and reduce the tax levy. This is only $1,050,000, so it's almost half of what the prior budget used of fund balance.
And we received additional temporary state support through Governor Hochul's budget of in excess of $500,000 in 2026.
Right, so that'll end up in fund balance at the end of the year.
So the improvement, the delta between what we did last year and this year is significant, because we had additional revenue and we've used half as much of the fund balance.
Okay, but there was okay.
Is that not correct?
Well, there was also, the salaries increased from what was budgeted.
Oh, why is that?
Because the salary, that contract wasn't settled yet, was it, when the 26 budget was adopted?
You're talking about the ASME contract.
Yeah.
It wasn't settled, and it wasn't settled until they reviewed insurance or something. So, yeah, that wasn't budgeted for, since we started negotiations in December of last year, and it didn't get settled until you guys voted in, what, April?
Yeah.
So that extra money for salaries had to come from somewhere, since it wasn't budgeted in 2026. So that was coming out of that fund balance.
So that's why I'm so reluctant to say, yeah, this 500,000 is just found money.
And I'm not challenging your answer.
No, I know.
I but I think for a collective group that are looking at this and knowing the nature of financial reporting is dynamic, and basically it's cash flow. I understand the cash flow of what you're talking about. Take a snapshot, it's going to be different 3 days from now. I think from a point of view of some historical perspective, at some point, I just say as we talk about budgeting, if we had some benchmarks of fund balance 3 to 5 years, that would also help to understand the ebb and flow of what happens to fund balance, because it's dynamic. And you can see trends from that, like you can see sales tax trends. You can see, are we overestimating those extraordinary temporary incomes to the detriment of the quality of the fund balance over time. So, and this is just as we work our way through a process and become better informed, these are the type of things that we should have better awareness of. I'll fill in time till Craig gets here.
Here he comes.
Well, one of them.
What of that? One of the Craigs.
I want you to know that the person whose salary was saved as a date was just a format in the cell and it actually was included in the total.
How you doing, Ron?
Hi.
I have lots of questions, but thinking in terms of. Were you asking for the question? Yeah, that's good.
It was a format in the cell. And the minute I hit accounting or number, hit the salary popped up, and I was like, oh, that's what
I'm doing the totals of each of the DPW, so I can find the total.
I was in there for hours.
I'm not gonna add all this up
It's good
tonight.
to have another set of eyes go through.
Yeah, I'm doing it in my head. No, I want the overall, just to compare with the other departments.
Can we figure out what the total is on that?
This is kind of a hot mess, this DPW, so I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
All right.
Yeah, you're looking at my brain right now. This is all the different line items for the DPW budget.
Hey, Craig.
Congratulations on being ahead of schedule.
So far.
So far.
So do you know the total amount of everything you're budgeted? You actually do? Cool. Well, they asked me and I couldn't tell. And would that include the changes we made today?
That does not, the total does not include.
Okay. That's only 200 and some odd thousand.
This is different too.
Yeah, that's the best of the Should have got me.
Oh, I have them. $340.
Right, whenever you're ready.
Good. I'm ready.
Good evening. As I'm sure you're aware, the budgets you've seen those so far are a bit shorter than DPW, the 30 pages budget here. We've been frugal the past few years. We've skipped, we've saved where we can, we've shopped around. The best, one of the best examples I have is buying a can of Lysol. If you buy a can of Lysol from an industrial supplier, it's like 15 bucks a can. You can buy it at Walmart for $3. So we've made those changes, right? We've skimped, we've saved, we've shopped around, we've been frugal. Costs, especially this year, have now surpassed our ability to be frugal and stay within budget. All of the beautiful things we've done, the parks, the Cahill Pier, the marina, they now come at a cost of maintenance. This budget, as proposed, allows us to maintain the current levels of service that we're already being asked to do more. Any additional cuts in this budget will result in reduced services to the community. So that everyone's aware, we did find, as Ron and I went through this line by line, there were some errors in personal services to the tune of an additional $154,747. $154,747. There were some salaries misprinted. With 112 employees, that's going to happen. True clerical errors of no particular fault. And that's why we get to review. Well, that's why we get to review the budget ahead of time. This is my first time in 10 years being involved with the budget, of having the budget before tonight's meeting. So this has been very helpful. Usually walk into this blind, not knowing what is actually in here. So that's a positive change this year. That's been very helpful. So with that change that I just mentioned, the DPW's proposed budget to the mayor was $10,742,345.
Is that just general fund? Or is
That's
that?
General fund, sorry. Yeah, just the general fund. That's not the water fund or the enterprise fund. That's just general fund, which your tax base is based on. Not rate users, these are taxpayers, right? Sitting down with the mayor, Ron and I were able to cut $1.3 million, $1,305,000. That's an 8.23% cut from our original proposed budget. So we've already cut $1.3 million from this. We do not feel there's any more room to cut without affecting services. And again, with the additional $154,747, I know that's an additional burden to what we're trying to accomplish here tonight, but that's the reality of it. Questions?
Counselor Thompson?
Yes, so under the marina and docks contracted services, cell phones is listed, but I believe that's covered under the IT budget, correct? I just want to make sure we're not double counting items. making an assumption it's not a huge amount for that portion.
Yeah, these portions of the budget just haven't been cleaned up. Right, we don't pay for cell phones out of there. But that's just words in the book.
Okay, so that 35,000 does not include
Does
that?
not affect the $35,000 at all.
Okay, thank you.
And it would be minimal. There's only one cell phone, I think, is like $35 a month.
Counselor Fitzgibbons.
Colin, just to ask a question. Pools and animal control, between those two, we have 1.2 million of construction, capital improvements. I guess buying equipment for the animal control. And we're doing a revitalization of the pool of some sort, a contract service. Do those go to capital accounts, or would they come out of these budgets this way?
They have to go to capital accounts if they are bonded, if they're funded with obligations of the city. Otherwise, they're, like the animal control it's been mandated changes from the state.
Right, and we got a $500,000 grant. You guys just voted on it the other day. It's a $700,000 estimate, but you got a $500,000 grant.
And that part's in revenue, so the expenditures are in this budget.
So I just found the trail of this. So there is, and the time it goes to capital account is when it's bonded. Is that a good rule of thumb?
Other than CHIPS projects, yes.
Right. And so really what we saw was $1 million in the line item for the animal control or thereabouts, but much of it was a grant. Is that fair to say? Fair to say?
I'm not, animal control is not mine, but it's like 780,000 total project and 500 is granted.
Right,
I believe
right,
is the dollar amounts there.
I was just looking at
I
the
can speak to the
line
pool.
item.
I can speak to the pool because that is under my purview.
And the pool project was a grant.
The pool project is a grant which has not come to council yet because we're not under contract yet. We haven't completed. We're waiting on final documentation from I don't remember if that's DASNY or State Parks. But that is.
Is that the SWIMS program?
That's the SWIMS program, yes, the SWIMS, State Parks SWIMS program. $600,000 project.
Yep.
Our share of that is $120,000. The grant is $480,000.
So you're showing our portion?
I'm showing our portion in the budget.
Okay, yep.
I'll ask another question.
Counselor Thompson, yes.
So in the budget, there's a Ford Maverick for $35,000. I'd just like to understand what that is for, and I'd like to mention that I know the police department is replacing 2 cruisers, and my understanding usually the older ones will go to CSOs or DPW.
Yes.
Has that been factored in?
Yes. To answer your first question, the Ford Maverick this is in the waterfront in the 8340-200 equipment account. $35,000 is to replace truck 701, which is currently used daily. It's a 2009 Ford Ranger. They no longer make parts for Ford Rangers. Those older models. These trucks are obsolete. And yes, if PD is getting new cars and if Chief Cady is willing to hand those cars down to DPW, those cars are usually pretty used up. We don't use them as daily drivers. They go towards, they're the loan out car when you bring your other, the department brings a car for service. A lot of them go to the seasonal staff in the summer to get around town, cleaning the various bathrooms and leaving the parks and things like that. So the fleet of the fleet of motor pool cars has been depleted. You're talking, currently, we're driving around 2015 Ford Explorers that PD handed down. We got them, they had 150,000 miles on them with transmission trouble. So usually by the time we get a car, that's not something we want, a daily driver. That's, these Ford Rangers have been daily drivers, and they're at the end of their life.
I'm just curious, the Ford Maverick's a fairly new light-duty four-door pickup truck.
Yes.
What's your opinion?
So far, we've seen a lot of them, a lot of other companies using them as fleet vehicles. They seem to be reliable. We haven't had any issues with the ones we've gotten so far. They're good on gas. It's a turbo 4-cylinder motor. We haven't seen any issues with them yet. They're still fairly new to our fleet, but it's the best alternative out there at this point, at that price point. You know, the next level up, you're jumping to a Ford Explorer. It's another $10,000 for what?
Can you carry a crew of 4 with it?
You can, yes.
Yeah, okay. But it is small.
Yeah, they're small, but you can get 4 people in there. You know, a lawnmower weed eater in the back, or a couple bags of garbage.
Yep.
You know, you see our people take care of downtown. If you see them out and about, that's what they drive. You know, taking care of the garbage, and it seems to be a handy, so far, reliable vehicle.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it the other day in our lengthy conversation last Friday. The out-of-title work was, just to explain it maybe to everyone, that out-of-title, there's $3,000 for out-of-title work.
Out of which department? Sorry, Bill.
Sanitary and sewers, I believe.
Winter upgrades to MEO heavy and out-of-title work. So the winter upgrades, that is a thing of the past. However, there is still a need for out-of-title work. So out-of-title work is, you are, let's say a light equipment operator, or even a laborer. A laborer goes out, we have them go paint today. That's maintenance work. Maintenance is a higher rate of pay. We have to pay that higher rate of pay. And that's where that budget line is accounting for that. Light equipment operator. We've asked the light equipment operator, which you're permitted, the light equipment operator to drive light equipment. That's a pickup truck. That's the smaller dump trucks. We now need you to go drive snowplow today, or drive one of the big dump trucks. Now it's heavy equipment operator pay. Again, that budget line is that difference in pay to cover that temporary upgrade for the day or for the week.
So are dump trucks listed at over 26,000, so they need a CDL, or they're not listed for 26,000?
Depends on the dump truck.
Okay.
We have dump trucks, all sizes.
Well, when you talk about moving into a bigger truck, that was...
All of our equipment operators are CDL licensed operators.
Okay.
So they're licensed to operate the vehicle. But correct, so 19,500 is your lightweight, your MEO light trucks are the 19.5 trucks and lower. You go above 19.5, you get to the 26,000, which is your standard dump truck is 26,000. That's when the heavy equipment operator pay comes in. Snow plows are heavy equipment, the big snow plows. All of our vacuum excavator and our vacuum trucks or sewer trucks, those are all heavy equipment. Running a payloader, running a backhoe, excavator, heavy equipment pay. And we do oftentimes have to upgrade people to do that work.
And the 3 head mechanics and the, I guess there's a distinguish between the 1 automotive mechanic and the 3 head mechanics at the garage. I think we talked about that the other day. That was a...
Yes, so in the garage, by virtue of union titles, and to get people paid appropriately, a good living wage, to get good qualified people. The garage superintendent, who oversees all of the garage activities, all the maintenance of vehicles, et cetera, with 3 head mechanics, and to get good qualified people. That just happens to be the title in the SEIU collective bargaining agreement to get that pay rate to retain those qualified employees. Then there's the 1 mechanic who has the difference between the mechanic and the 3 head mechanics is the mechanic, he does not have a New York State inspector's license. He can't do state inspections where the rest of them can.
And they're civil service, correct?
They are not.
They are not, okay.
No, I'm sorry, yes, head mechanics are civil service.
Okay, so they're supervisory in their job description
Yes,
also? Okay.
yes, yes. So if the garage superintendent isn't available or is off on vacation, one of the head mechanic, the senior head mechanic on is now in charge of the garage.
Okay.
Counselor Thompson?
Another question. So under, I don't see in this packet that the mayor sent out, but under the joint recreation projects, there's $2,500 for referee fees for adult volleyball.
Yes.
Could you tell me about that?
Adult volleyball has been in limbo since COVID?
COVID.
Since COVID.
Yeah,
We are
before
bringing
COVID.
back adult volleyball this fall.
And that's for the public?
That is for the public, yes. We'll be rolling out soon dates for getting teams signed up and getting that program off the ground and running again. I believe Igor in the clerk's office is going to head that up for us.
Okay.
Did you have something?
Going back to, I forget the verbiage, but the pay differential, I'll call it,
Yes.
is that also happening on overtime? A lot of
Sometimes,
times? So it's a significant amount of money.
They can be, yes.
How often is that happening? Is it when people are on vacation? Like, what is the scenario, sick?
There's different variables, like, it can be, the operators on vacation, it can be that. Often in the winter, it's all hands on deck, and we need, the light equipment operator, maybe we're short a plow driver, we need to drive the plow today, whether someone be out sick or on vacation. It's not a big difference in pay, and I'm sorry, I don't have those numbers. I know from experience, if we pull the SAO contract, that, the difference between, say, a laborer and maintenance, or a laborer and a light equipment operator, or even a light equipment operator to a heavy, it's generally less than, depending on how many years of service. It's $1, $2 an hour. It's not huge money, but it needs to be budgeted for.
There's a significant amount of overtime. Would it be more efficient to have more employees and less overtime?
Sure.
Well,
There is a matrix.
there comes a break-even point, and so like it might be more beneficial to have another employee for 40 hours versus someone for 20 hours.
I agree with that 100%. That analysis hasn't been done. We're 112, and that includes, that's all of DPW, that's all your building maintenance, your custodial staff, that is all of water treatment, power and pumping. When we go to, the majority of the overtime comes in the winter when we go on winter shift. There's 12 people on shift. That's where we run into our overtime.
So what general, out of all the departments, that would be, fall under which? Or everyone goes into that?
Everyone goes in.
Okay.
It's a hodgepodge of all the different budget lines into winter shift. There's no direct correlation to any one department for a step out.
So do you package all the overtime into one
No, it's broken out.
amount?
No, it's
or-
broken up.
broken
Oh,
out.
I know it's broken up, but I mean, in the wintertime, you package all that, because if you run out of overtime money in one account, you just take it from from another account that hasn't used it yet, is that correct?
No,
No? Okay.
the accounts run negative, and then they get reconciled in the Chamberlain's office.
Okay.
Obviously, none of us have crystal balls. And wisely, we've increased the garage materials and supplies, which I think is fuel. Given your crystal ball and where we are already in an increased environment, you're comfortable with that? It's about $200K higher.
To answer your question, no.
Yeah.
So everyone's aware, that budget line is, what do we leave it at? Sorry. 800,000?
You took 150 out.
Yeah, we took 150 out already. So of that 800,000, 450 of that is earmarked for fuel for 2027. This year was 300. So 300,000 earmarked this year for fuel, 450,000 earmarked out of this 800,000 for fuel for next year. That's diesel fuel and unleaded for the entire city fleet. We supply fuel to every department.
So the question is, where are we year to date in this year's budget? Do you have an idea on that fuel line that we're at 300?
I'm sorry I didn't get that number today. We are running out. We will be coming to council soon for a budget amendment.
So
Let me,
that's a flag.
yes. So, for everyone's in, unleaded, 87 octane, unleaded, 10% ethanol, same stuff you buy at the gas pump. January of this year, $2.05 wholesale, that was our cost.
Yep.
Per gallon. In June, end of May, June, when I was putting the budget together for the mayor, it was up 117%. That did come down a little bit. July, 71% at $3.51 a gallon. Our most recent delivery, I have the invoices right here. August, $3.30 a gallon. That's a 61% increase. We raised the budget line 50%. Diesel fuel, similar. $2.04 in January. Today, $3.55 a gallon, which is 58% increase. We raised the budget line 50%. Do we have the crystal ball? Do we know what fuel is going to do 6 months from now? I have no idea.
Right.
It may go down.
Just taking that opportunity, because obviously you don't turn these things around quickly, you know, is there any managerial steps you take with that forecast coming down the pike? Because, you know, it seems like fuel will be a struggle, you know, either equipment use, deployment, routing, you know, positioning, or anything that from your, I'm sure you're doing a lot. Just asking, you know, what does that bring in terms of any modification, if any, that we can even manage?
I mean, we already have a no idling policy. You know, the big trucks don't like to idle as it is with the emissions systems on them. So any time we can shut a truck down, shut a truck down. Keep in mind when we are working on this, some of the, you know, you got the beacon light going, the hazard lights
Sure.
going on the side of the road. Sometimes the truck needs to stay running to keep those lights running.
The Mavericks are running 35 miles a gallon,
Right.
probably.
Going to a better fuel mileage rather than running the 2015 Ford Explorers. They get, you know, maybe 15, 19 miles a gallon to the Ford Maverick that's getting 35. That's a savings. But the biggest thing we can do is shut vehicles off when they don't need to be running. Carpool when we can, you know, we don't need to take, if we have a crew cab truck and we don't need to take 3 trucks to the job, if you take 1 truck and take the crew cab, things like that.
There's other intangibles with the price of oil, other than fuel. Tires, and the oil itself, they used to change oil in trucks. So those are intangibles that you have to project into the future, because tires go up as the oil prices go
Yeah,
up.
that's-
Have you noticed that?
That's why the other half of that account, there's an additional 50,000
Okay.
to help cover the cost of oil and tires. Tires is outrageous. Tires have gone up so much, and, you know, every police car needs new tires every year. The heavy plows, you know, they may not need all 6 tires or all 10 tires every year, but they're gonna need 2 or 4. And those big tires are expensive. So tires is a big chunk of that.
Correct. Correct. Sorry. So I appreciate you taking whatever cuts you could make, so thank you very much. I'm just wondering if you are comfortable, I mean, you're probably not, but comfortable with the cuts you've made, and or do you think that, obviously there's a lot of unknowns, but I just worry about coming to us next year with an abundance of budget amendments, so that's my question.
With this current budget, unless there's cuts on this table that I don't know about, with what I proposed, what the mayor and Ron and I cut, the only budget line we just talked about, would be my only concern, would be that fuel line.
Okay.
Everything else, we can do what we need to do and stay within those budget lines.
And
Outside of a major emergency or, you know,
Road salt.
catastrophe, right?
Road salt.
Road salt is,
Bad.
well, so that's a good point. Road salt, we don't have next year's price yet. That doesn't come out till the middle of next month.
Okay.
So we don't know what that's gonna do.
And your cuts wouldn't interrupt any like services that you provide throughout the city, correct? Like the cuts that you've made, they're not gonna
No,
interrupt, okay. All right, thank
no,
you.
we can maintain service with what we have on the table right now.
Okay.
Just looking at the,
I just did rough math, it's about $250,000 in overtime. So that, being generous, would be at least 3 people, I would say, with benefits and all that. Would 3 people fix, even if you had floaters and stuff, to cover overtime? That's 100 extra 20 hours a week.
No,
So how many hours are you using a week? It probably is majority winter, I'm assuming, right?
I don't know, but we ran through $250,000 in January and February.
So majority of it is,
Yeah,
Snow.
so we'll just put a blanket over and we won't get snow, and then it'll be fine.
perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
We were lucky for a few years, and
Yeah. You might get lucky again.
the,
Probably not, but thanks.
you know, the overtime accounts, we went, so to give the full view, back in 2017, I think it was, 2017, 2018 winter, we went to a 3-shift operation, which significantly reduced overtime. But it didn't snow. It didn't snow. So, not this past winter, the previous year, we simply didn't have enough staff to run 3 shifts. We went back to 2 shifts. And we spent a lot of money. I forget the number, but it was a large number, $500,000 or $600,000 on overtime, because it snowed. And we didn't have 3 shifts to cover it. We've gone back to, what we've gone to now is a 4-10 schedule. We're covering 7 days a week. Significantly cuts overtime, but still not, when it snows, 12 people aren't enough. You know, we need 12 people put 6 plows on the road. In a heavy snow, we like to have 8 to 10 to really service the city and have everyone covered in a reasonable amount of time, get everybody to work and get the emergency vehicles where they need to be. 250,000, or 3 or 4 people, not really going to help.
It's the unpredictable demand
Yeah.
of the work you do.
Yes, and if we have an easy winter, great, we don't spend any overtime. That's,
Right.
I think, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm thinking off the cuff right now. I think with the price of gas, maintenance, tires, and so forth, we really need to look into this next year, maybe vehicle sharing among where we can, like maybe CSOs and then codes and IT could, you know, possibly reduce the vehicle that way. There's equipment available to make that streamlined, where they check out a key for a vehicle, and then when they get back, they check it in. Because you drive by City Hall anytime, not all the vehicles are out. I've never seen all the vehicles out. So there's definitely opportunity there. I think going forward, we need to look at possibly take-home vehicles, because that's mileage, wear and tear, gas. Every dollar counts. It's taxpayer money. I think it's something that we should definitely consider. Some might disagree with that, but I believe there's, you know, I think, you know, the police chief probably needs a fire chief, animal control. I think there are exceptions, but there might be still opportunity to cut that back.
Your opinion, Craig?
I don't know who else is taking vehicles home.
Well, we also have, well, do you have that answer, Mayor?
Well, we have like Dave Hilton, the water supervisor. He takes his vehicle home, but he's on call 24/7. There's a water main break. He's leaving home and going to take care of that. But all the codes peoples, they keep their cars here. Yeah, I'm not sure who else you think are taking their vehicles home. Fire chief takes his vehicle home. Deputy fire chief, we took that away from him a couple of years ago. He used to take it home. So I'm not sure who else.
To my knowledge, Chief Katie, Chief Gonzalez,
Yeah.
myself as needed, which in the wintertime, if we're expecting heavy snow, I'll bring the truck home. Ryan will, actually, Ryan doesn't, he doesn't have a place to park it, so he doesn't bring his truck home. In the wintertime, well, DPW supervisors by contract, bring, if they're on call, are allowed to bring their vehicle home. And in the wintertime, most bring their vehicle home because they're either working or they're on call. Outside of that, there's no other.
I think the IT department takes theirs home, right?
Which one?
IT?
IT? Yes. IT, he's another one that's basically on call. He also does the drones, and he has other jobs, like he'll be working probably 24 hours this past Thursday and Friday. We're doing a reboot of the PLCs at the waste treatment plant. So yes, his job is such that I feel that it's necessary. He's like the supervisor, Dave Hilton.
Yeah, John Lacey.
Or John Lacey,
Who's
yeah.
also on call 24/7 for the plant.
Yeah.
As we talked.
And Scriba Water, Municipal Water Services out in Scriba. So I guess the point, I don't see where it's being abused. It's certainly not being abused.
As we talked Friday, there was also an option, correct, with vehicle allowance. They didn't, how did that work? I remember we talked about it.
So in the management contract, DPW supervisors can choose to take the vehicle home when they're on call, or if they're not going to take the vehicle home, they get a $50 per month stipend, $600, an additional $600 a year.
Is that part of these stipends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which again, needs to be budgeted for, because
Right,
right now, they all choose, most of them choose to take the vehicle home when they're on call, so they don't take the stipend, but if at any point in time, no, I'm not gonna drive the truck home anymore, then money needs to be there.
I know Ron's met me out on job sites where we had to check these out. He's had his own personal vehicle many times.
Don't kill me. Okay. With the cost of gas and everything going up, have we looked into the replacement of a truck with an electric? I mean, I know, don't kill me, but
Look at that face.
What is that?
We have not looked at that. I'm not confident the electric trucks are gonna plow snow.
no, but is the truck that we're talking about is a Maverick, right?
Oh,
Like that. Have we looked into something comparable?
have not.
Do we think it would be,
Well,
I
this
don't
is
know.
Emerging. I think we're on the cusp of EVs, plug-in hybrids that could be considered as we go down the road.
We don't have the infrastructure to charge them.
Yeah.
Charge for free or air?
The significant grants.
2 hour window.
If the space is available and if the charger's working.
I'm just saying. With the cost of gas going up for something like that, not for trucks, not for plows, but like for something like that, is.
Service vehicle.
Yes, is that something that we should maybe look into?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think they make a small-size EV truck yet.
Probably one out there, I would think.
Ranger.
You would just have to check
The
the
Maverick-
cost,
the
the
Maverick
initial
comes in the
cost of the
hybrid.
vehicle,
The
as opposed to driving
It
it with
does.
gas,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
the initial cost is normally higher for electric than it is
And
gas.
the cost of having the infrastructure to charge.
Exactly.
Because we would need chargers at DPW or at the other facilities, that we'd have to install chargers to do these.
But the grants are so
Yeah,
significant
they're-
on the installation
yeah.
of those, you can net out zero for the installation of chargers.
Maybe,
But that's,
being at a public, you know, where the public can't access it might affect that, I don't know. But
Again, that's-
it's certainly worth exploring, yes.
it's a fair observation going down the road.
Yes.
You know, and I think that that's a reality of where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
And for some element of transportation, it's gonna be a reality.
There's a big push for the heavy equipment to go electric as well, and that the technology just isn't there.
Sure.
Sure.
Like the school buses.
Manufacturers have
Were affected by
successfully
battery
lobbied
life.
Yeah.
Like
to
the
get
school
that pushed
buses.
The school buses, but eventually with time, hopefully.
Right.
There's something. So,
Oh, no, when the technology is there and we can support it, absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely not there yet.
Personally, I think hybrid's the way to go, but
right,
especially,
well, like for that truck that you're replacing, what is the difference of the price cost for the hybrid? It might be worth it.
The Maverick
Not that
comes in a
much.
fairly, you know, the duty cycle and the talk of the Maverick, the hybrid is pretty good, so that
It
might be.
not be.
I don't know, it's on your bid sheets or eligible.
Amy Conlon.
As a model?
we had a
That's
price
hybrid.
when I was a hybrid, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, the hybrid, the Maverick, it does have a hybrid
It might
option.
be worth considering.
And that's
for
on
not
state
that much
contract.
more.
No,
It's not on state contract?
it's on Onondaga County contract.
Okay. Difference being between state and Onondaga contract?
Again, it's an area, if I could just say, an area that is constituent interaction. Your department serves probably the greatest volume of
Sure.
constituent issues. And we recognize that, we recognize the work that you do, and we recognize the good work you do. And want to thank you for that. And obviously, the budget, as it reflects to taxpayer levy, this is a significant piece of it. For your efforts on that part, I appreciate it.
To answer the question, sorry, I was listening to John and I forgot what you said.
I didn't mean to interrupt, I thought
That's
we would
okay.
hit a wall.
The difference between the Onondaga contract and a state I used to work off state contract.
Okay, so for purchasing vehicles, New York State OGS has gotten away from listing individual vehicles, and you have to go through a mini bid system. So you tell them what you're looking for, it goes out to bid, you wait, you come back, and then go with the lowest bidder, or to disqualify the lowest bidder, et cetera, and how the bidding process works. Onondaga County Purchasing has gone ahead and done their own vehicle contracts with different vendors.
Oh, okay.
And we use Onondaga contracts for all of our light-duty trucks. Now, the heavy equipment, yes, New York State OGS contract pricing.
Okay, they're still doing it for heavy stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colleen, if you have this, what is the percentage increase from last year to this year? Probably not, you don't have the whole DPW, do you?
For
The DP.
the whole DPW?
Yeah,
I don't know, I can get you that
okay.
information.
And then one other question, there's a whole list of things here. Like mini golf, marina merch, marina concessions, does that, tiki boats, that all falls under you, right?
That's all revenue.
So that's all revenue, right, I understand that, but we had no revenue from that this year, but we're thinking about adding?
We put it in one total. It's covered in the general total. I also questioned that as well and found out, because we talked about it with Terry and I. It's in,
Three.
let me see,
Sorry, I was just trying to figure it out.
it's in there. It's just that
Other revenues?
they grouped it and put it in one
Of the
total.
other revenues.
For this year? For this year? Okay.
Well, that's the way we've been doing it for several years. So, yeah, so I broke it out, if you look at it, I decided to break it out and be a true budget. You could see that in 2026, mini golf, tiki boat, and there was three things here. Marina concessions. There was no line item, so I did talk to Carrie, and I got the true numbers, so it reflects accurate,
Okay, thank you.
you know,
I was
where the money
confused.
came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a good question. Why isn't it in 2026? Well, they put it all in one line item.
I don't know who this falls under too. There's a marina, trans, no electric. What is that?
Transient
Slips.
slip. So I'm coming in for the night. I need a dock for the night, and it's a slip with no electric and no water.
So we're expecting significantly less?
The number wasn't realistic.
Okay, thank you.
We reduced it because it wasn't close to what
Okay.
the revenue reflected in previous years.
In total for that, let's say, section, okay, for
Yeah, yeah.
Parks and Rec and whatever, went up about 85,000 in revenue.
So that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's 8 million, so it's like 0.1% or something.
So, which, now I'm kind of on the topic of marinas. On the revenue side, if there was a time to which the fees charged for slips at Wright's Landing were considered to be changed, what's the window as a municipality would be best time to do that so that you are in a cycle for renewal of contracts
We send contracts out in January.
in January?
Yes.
So if that was to come back to the purview of the council to consider, probably October would be the time to have it on the table.
That would be perfect, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And
Because
Yes.
some have said that the demand is greater than the supply. And
Absolutely.
it has been that way for too long. And that possibly, that might be something to be revisited, as we might be below the market as to what's appropriate.
I believe that's accurate,
Okay.
yes.
So, and that might be an opportunity to have some discussion.
We actually talked about that, didn't we, Craig?
We did, yes.
Yeah, we already have a plan to revise the prices for 2027. Because you're right, if you go over to the east side, you'll see that their prices
Sure.
are much higher. So we've already got that started.
But we have to pass it. So I just want to know, so we have some conversation of how legislatively we should be considering this so that we can be respectful of how the contracts are renewed. That's all.
we get
Not
to-
questioning your plan, I'm just questioning our execution.
We get through the budget process here, and I don't know, Mayor, we consider having a subcommittee of this council to look at that. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, we love subcommittees.
They're the ones that, ultimately, they're the ones that are gonna approve it, so, that's something we should be looking at.
Well, you did a lot of the research already. I remember when we looked at this a couple years ago, kind of surveying what other marinas on Lake Ontario were charging.
Yeah, some of that information needs to be updated, but
Yeah.
yeah, we looked at different marinas nearby.
Good start.
What the rates are, and what we have, what we offer, and we're definitely low. There is a 6-page wait list that tells you right there your rates are too low.
I'll just mention, outside of Oswego, for a 30-foot boat, I believe the cheapest you'll find is about $2,000, and they don't offer all the extras that our marina does. So we have a really nice marina. DPW does a great job taking care of it. So I think, not saying we would charge $2,000 for a 30-foot boat. I think we definitely want to be lower and competitive. But I think right now, correct me if I'm wrong, it's $950 for residential for a boat slip, and then what's non-residential? Is it $1250?
That sounds right, yeah. That's a 20-foot, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to go off
Yeah,
memory.
it goes up there, yeah.
So there's definitely room for us to increase revenue and close that gap that the taxpayers are covering.
One more question.
Yes.
Okay, so we have, where did I see it? Marina fuel sales. We're talking about fuel going up, right? Is it realistic that we could be making, it says 160, is it realistic that we could be making even more than that? It's $10,000 more, but is that a realistic thing that
You know,
there's?
that was my call.
Okay.
And, you know, I think we're all keeping track of, you know, the world politics and
Sure.
and what's going on in the world. You know, you got the Strait of Hormuz, that's, you know, there's a blockade, and as Craig said, that we were paying less than $3 a gallon in January, and then went up to 4 something. My call on this was, the war is not going to be forever. In the Strait of Hormuz, it's not going to be closed to traffic for the oil barges there. So I felt that, yeah, we should increase it, but I don't think that I think gas is going to come down at a relatively reasonable rate. So I didn't think we should raise the profit on that or the revenue too much.
Are we keeping it in line with how much we're buying at and all that? Yes.
We make a profit. We do profit on the marina fuel sales. It's 90, octane 90 non-ethanol marine grade fuel. We do profit on that, which is in your revenue line there. It's not a specific percentage. We do have a method of setting price, and it's to be fair with our competitor across the river.
It's currently about $6 a gallon.
Yes. Yes. So there is a profit margin there, though. And we could consider increasing that. I mean, that's to increase revenue, but again, we do have a competitor across the river that if they don't increase theirs, we're just going to lose the sales.
Yeah.
The other factor you have to take into consideration, it's a discretionary purchase to some degree. Higher fuel prices decrease usage.
Yeah, these boats,
to some degree.
when these boats come in, they take 200 gallons.
Yeah. It's gallons per hour
Yes.
they measure. That's what they measure how much they use.
Wow. Is the cruise ship going to be using our gas?
No.
Oh, man, come on.
They're using our water. And you saw that I did put a line item in there for the 8 cruise lines, destinations that'll be here. So we are making something, but not on gas.
So to get back to vehicles.
Yes.
We talked about the case loader. The reason for it is the bigger bucket, if I remember our conversation correctly, is that...
So now you're in the enterprise fund, the sewer, the G8120 200 account, case 821 loader with a snow blower. That is a 4-yard bucket. It's bigger than any loader we currently have. Biggest right now is a 721, which is a 3.5-yard bucket. This would be replacing that loader. The past couple of winters have shown the need for this. We've ended up borrowing a machine from the county. Sean's been, and the county's been gracious enough to loan us one at no charge. But once it gets here, Sean calls me every other day and wants to know what's coming back, because he needs it. So for us to have our own machine, this is a, loaders inherently are longer service. This isn't a 10-year, that we get 15, 18, maybe sometimes 20 years. This machine's going to be around for close to 20 years. Is it going to run every day? No, and that's why it's going to last that long. But when we need it, it's going to be there.
But as we talked, this is a dual-purpose machine. It can snow blow for where you dump the snow and pile up, but also can, if we need it, could be used for streets.
Could be used for streets. We can cut back streets with it and use it at our snow pile. We have the 2 dump sites. We get the rotary blower at one. This one would be at the other when we get to that point of hauling snow. But yes, also could be used to cut back. Probably not in the neighborhoods, but definitely on 104, 481 Utica Street where the streets are open. Because it's a good sized machine.
Are there grants available for that?
Not that I'm aware of now. Equipment grants are tough to come by.
Other questions, comments for the commissioner?
There's also a second loader. It's a mini loader, case 121.
Yep.
What's the purpose of that? Some information.
So the case 121, we have a case 121 and we have a CAT 305 mini loader. So that case 121 is on the road nearly every day. It needs to be replaced. And that piece of equipment is something we, I forget what year it is. I'm sure I have it. 2019. No, I'm sorry, that's the cap. It's an 903D. And we had the case the year before that, so it's, I think, 2018. And again, that machine is out nearly every day. It's versatile. We use it for so many different things. Topsoil, sidewalks, gravel. They use it to move snow in the winter. It's just time to replace it.
And you only have one of those?
The case 121, yes. And then we have a CAT 903D, which is a little bit smaller machine, but still, that machine is out. Those machines are out nearly every day, both of them. Any other questions?
The skid steer for the water department, or the water, whatever, it's for snow removal, is that under your budget? Or?
John Lacey put that in the budget.
Yep, yep.
You can only push so much snow with a pickup truck, and when it's snowing out, we can't always get there to help, push the piles up. It's not, which is fine. Which is fine.
So that'll be used at the wastewater or freshwater?
Or freshwater treatment.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't hate me. Hypothetical.
No, we're not, there's no hate here.
Okay. If you had to cut one thing from your budget, what would it be?
And don't say Ron's pay.
I was gonna say, don't say Ron. Don't say Ron's job.
Not Ron's pay. No one's pay. That would be the absolute last thing I would do. We're not looking to reduce any services or any people. The one thing, that's a tough question. I don't know.
The F-350 is replacing, I'm going to assume it's something that's got a toolbox, tool body with a plow. So I'm assuming that's going to replace.
Those are direct replacements
Yeah,
for trucks
okay.
that are coming off the road that are not going to pass the state inspection or haven't passed state inspection.
Okay.
Will they go to auction?
Yes.
So we'll get $5.
We'll get $5.
You'd be surprised.
$10.
Sometimes they surprise us with this surplus equipment. You get a couple $1,000s for these trucks. They're worth that in scrap steel alone. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I mean, if I absolutely had to cut something, considering, probably the most difficult thing would be paving. That's the only spot that there's margin, and that's,
It's not even in this budget.
yes, it is.
You have paving in this budget? I thought it was in.
5110-440.
I'm sorry. I'll stay out of it.
Ron, do you got anything?
Where's that?
Did you think of something? Did you think of something?
So Stephen.
Okay.
That's the only place where, again, you're affecting, we use CHIPS money to do the bulk of our paving.
Yes.
Right.
Last year, we came up with the idea of, being that it takes 3 years to wait for a snowplow, let's buy the snowplow with CHIPS money and take the money we would have put towards the snowplow into the budget.
Right.
Rather than under an equipment line, we put it under our paving line, so we can realize that dollar this year, not 3 years from now when the truck shows up. So in the 5110, page 6.
Street maintenance.
If there were anywhere to trim money that would be the least amount of impact, but that would just mean that's a street or two that's not gonna get paved,
No,
right?
yeah.
Now, the 410, $250,000, that's your sidewalks, your curbing, your patching, your potholes, your tar sealing.
Yep.
And we run that out every year. Well, actually, that's an increase because we have run it out every year.
Yep.
It's the, I'm sorry, it's not in here.
Wait, you're talking about like page 6?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I'm like, I'm on that page.
It's not in here.
How much is it normally?
The 5110, I don't know how I missed that. The 5110, 440, no. I gotta look at
Yeah,
it.
it dropped 250,000 from the prior
That
year.
250,000 should not have been removed.
It makes me wonder if it was just a typo, and this should have been 200,000 instead of 2,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Contracted services?
Should have been 252,000. Well, that's a problem.
You want me to put that back in there and see what it does to our life?
Yeah, please.
So let's talk about what we're putting back in, though.
So contracted services for paving. This year, $250,000 towards paving. That's on top of our CHIPS allotment. Because we have committed $250,000 to a snowplow that we expect in 2029. That's where the trade-off is, right? And that was, I swear I read that earlier, and it was there.
So material supply and equipment, wouldn't that be, it's 250,000, it says bituminous material, concrete tampers, cement saws, other miscellaneous sidewalk and curb forms.
That's
That's
not,
materials.
That's
that
just
is
materials?
DPW crews,
Just materials.
replacing sidewalks, that's concrete, that's
Sorry, I can't see
asphalt,
from back here.
patching roads, fixing water main breaks.
I can't see back here, I'm just looking at.
Tom, should go to the impacts,
But it's not the 252 you're looking for.
Nope, it's the,
Okay.
it's the 0.440 rental
Yep.
of outside equipment account.
So, the tax levy is up 13 point, almost 14 million, but you're still almost 100,000 under the tax levy limit. And that
what's the
doesn't,
percent of increase over the levy?
2.94. But it's never gonna be, I mean, 2% is not what the tax levy limit is.
Oh, I understand that. I'm understanding just the impact of what the taxpayer will see, and that's 2.9 over last year.
That, they will see their taxes go up less than $100. If they own a $200,000 house, their difference in their tax bill will be $73.
But for some people, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Can be.
Yep.
And I apologize, I did not look at that line in the budget because it didn't, my proposed didn't change from last year, so I don't know why that changed.
You want to put an extra zero in that house value of a home, not $10,000.
800, this year's
Sorry.
allotment was 831.
There you go. No, you're good, you're good, you're
Roughly.
good. Okay.
It varies each year, is my understanding.
And this is,
Doesn't it?
and this is the $36 is for the year,
It
right?
went up.
Okay, obviously,
The
that's
state
right,
budget
okay, sorry.
Boosted
Just-
the CHIPS funding a little bit this year.
So we'll
But it could come.
803,000, that's our, it's pretty steady.
Okay.
It did go up, it didn't go up much, it went up like $9.
We're getting some people to use some hydrants.
So, yeah, the one spot I was, you know, if you were.
took it out already
if
for
you were
us,
gonna
that was
cut,
twice.
It's already missing, which is, which is worse than what, well, almost as bad as what happened last year, but that's, last year the parks budget was 0 when I sat down at the table. We had to add all that back in, which was more than this, significantly more than this.
Certainly, it's an important item to have in the budget. I remember when I was campaigning in 2015 to be on the council in 2016, one of the things that people were telling me was that sidewalks and roads weren't being taken care of. And as I found out, the city of Oswego didn't have the money to do sidewalks because it was coming out of their budget, and they didn't have enough money to front the money for CHIPS because CHIPS is reimbursable. So fixing the roads, regardless of CHIPS money, but above and beyond CHIPS money, I think is a issue that the taxpayers want to see. They want to see sidewalks taken care of. We have a couple hundred miles of sidewalks. They also want to see potholes filled, and we have that new 40-inch wide milling machine that's doing a great job. Before we had an 18-inch wide, and now we can mill and repair those potholes much more effectively. If I had a vote here, I'd say you don't want to remove that. You'd like to put it back in because it does affect people and their cars. You'd be surprised in the wintertime how many notice of claims I receive for cars that hit potholes and damage their wheels and their rims and their tires. And I'd hate to see us not maintain our roads just because it's $252,000. I think that would be a disservice to the public, to be honest with you.
I do agree. If anything, we might be able to reduce it by a little bit, but we have a lot of roads in rough shape. DPW has done a great job doing a lot of patches, but they only hold up for so long, although I've seen quite a few patches last 5+ years. Is there any equipment in this budget, that we could live without or get by for one more year that we could push off a little bit? I do understand that's a tough ask.
Thinking through this and full disclosure, because the next conversation was in lieu of this money that we're talking about right now being in the 5110-440 of committing an additional cost of plows gone up. We order another plow, fleet of 10. We order one every year. Oldest truck is 10 years. The newest truck is new. With the next one expected next spring. And then the one after that in we skipped a year. We expect one in 27. We skipped a year for 28. The next truck after that is expected in 2029. We ordered a truck with this budget. We would expect that truck in 2030. So they're 3 years out. They may get a little faster, but that's the timeline right now. So committing $275,000 of essentially the 2030 CHIPS funds towards purchasing a plow. That still needs to happen. That's a different conversation. That's not in the budget. That's an ask that comes to council. We'll discuss that at committee. The next ask was going to be in 2027, we use a little bit of CHIPS funding because we don't have a plow coming up next year to buy a street sweeper. Again, different conversation. I'm just sharing my thought process here with everyone. Anything in this budget that we could do without for a year? Anyone got the crystal ball?
We're all guessers. We're
Right.
with you.
Here's my thought and for you to consider, and we could do. The one piece of equipment that could wait, again, crystal ball, what kind of winter are we gonna have, is that $630,000 loader. Keep in mind, we wait a year, that price is gonna go up. It's not going down. That price is going up. In lieu of the loader, we move the one pickup truck that's left in the budget under the 3310 account into the sewer account. That's $72,000. That's all I got to offer. I need the pickup truck. Maybe we can wait a year on the loader.
So,
But the loader's in the sewer fund,
Yes.
so that doesn't affect the tax levy.
Or just move the truck to the sewer or water fund. Doesn't affect the tax levy. There's $72,000.
Just to
And leave the
clarify,
loader
is
there.
the loader in the sewer?
It is.
It is now, so it's not affecting general
Right.
fund.
I
It's
mean,
not affecting the tax levy.
Right.
It is affecting the fact that the sewer fund is upside down.
Right.
yeah, yeah. Is it possible to find, what is it called, the $600,000 approximate used, like through one of the, could we buy it used? No, it's not really.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Could we buy the, make a phone call to Sean, see if we can buy his? Maybe they can get one, the county can get one.
I don't know if that's a good idea. If we want something that's gonna last a while.
It's gonna last 20 plus years
Well,
anyways.
we're losing the snow blower functionality of it, because it's not gonna come with a snow blower. I'm not so sure buying a $600,000 piece of equipment used that we're gonna rely on is a great idea, but, so, to the point of, you don't have to drop the loader. If you're, we're talking about just general fund.
Right.
Which affects the tax levy. The $72,000 pickup truck in the 3310 account, you could move that to water or sewer, takes it off your tax levy, there's $72,000. I mean, for that matter, you could move, you could move the $16,000 lawnmower and the $14,000 trailer to water and sewer as well.
Are they clearly used for those purposes?
One is.
Is that just budgetary, or is it operational that you're making that decision?
Well, we cut grass
Right.
we cut grass at the water treatment plant, we cut grass at the sewer pump station, so yeah. The dump trailers are used for everything, everywhere. The front loader, that would be used to move snow.
I guess and of course, we started the extensive conversation of trying to bring an understanding of funding the enterprise accounts for sewer and water appropriately.
Yes,
And they're paid by ratepayers, not taxpayers.
yes.
So if they're clearly being used by the services that should be paid by ratepayers, that's probably fairly where they belong.
Agreed.
So, I guess if that's, and it has impact, obviously, to balances and things like that, but we can only adjust it if we properly allocate it. So Colin, would you think that that's an appropriate recategorization? Just to ask you from an accounting point of view.
If you were going to move this to water,
Yep.
that would increase the amount of appropriated fund balance in the water fund that you would have to use
Yep.
to balance that budget. So it would go from using 866,000
Yep.
of the fund balance in water fund to 940. I can't do math in my head. I own a
Sure.
calculator for a reason.
So
Now, the impact that that does is that the bleed rate is faster of that fund balance because of that.
Right.
Robbing Peter.
But it, you know,
That's a third of your available fund balance.
Yeah.
is used in that.
To support one year's budget.
Right, that's the problem.
So accounting wise, sure, it makes sense. Fiscally responsible wise, I'm not sure it does.
No.
But the underlying assumption is though, that you have not remediated the fund balance decline in other ways.
That's what rate increases are for.
Yeah, that's what rate studies will help us discover who should be paying what, I think, right?
Right, yeah. And, I mean, again, I think relevant to the discussion, the enterprise fund, the 8120 account, 200 equipment is normally about 325,000. This year we added, you know, an additional 600,000 to that because we need this loader.
Because the loader's in
Right,
there.
so, and it's a one-time thing. 2 years ago, we needed a new vacuum truck, which was $550,000. We ended up bonding for that. I don't think, actually, I don't know if, I think we bonded for it. Either bonded for it or it came out of the reserve. I don't know which. But that's, you know, these are one-off things. Every couple of years, you need to buy this big piece of equipment.
Sure.
Right? So it's not every year. That, as you're talking about sewer rates and getting into that, that's where the differentiation is. So, I agree, moving that truck to sewer is not the right thing to do. But I still need the truck. You know, that's the crew out there painting crosswalks and your yellow lines and your fog lines and your skip lines and putting up stop signs, and the truck they have is not gonna pass state inspection. So now what do I do with that crew?
Can we take a 5-minute recess? You just have to use the restroom. Or if anyone
Sure.
knows, I step away from
Sure. Yeah.
I need a key. The restrooms are locked.
Oh.
I know, that's all right, I forgot about it. Okay, why don't you come on over here and use this one?
Oh, I didn't know that was locked there.
Well, surprise, we have one over here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had you trapped.
That's okay. Never mind. Go on.
Yeah, it's a nice view.
People are asking mechanics, but they figure out that.
They don't.
Yeah, I
They
know.
don't want them.
I know.
Looks like you were looking for something.
I am.
Oh,
You're trying to figure out how that happened?
I'm trying to figure out how that happened.
Did I make it happen?
back. Jeez, John.
But we were looking at our worksheet, we weren't looking at the budget.
I would have to go back to the original one from like 800 years ago.
So that,
It may have been me and my happy fingers, I don't know.
If you remember, Colleen, there was a couple other ones that I found that, you know, it was listed at like 2,000 and it was supposed to be 200,000.
Yeah.
So I just think there was an error as far as input, human error. Happens.
so that's the number you should have been starting with.
I just used what you sent over. So
Did we send it over?
I don't know if it, I don't think it matters, we fixed it now. We
Well,
fixed
not
it.
yet.
Well, the next best thing to do is revisit appropriated fund balance.
I needed to get up anyways, you know. Oh, don't you know the history behind this chair? Oh, where did he put it? This was stolen from Mexico.
Not that it matters.
There it is. Here, take that to your desk and read that.
I'm a little frustrated.
There's history. It's actually war reparations.
I mean, we
Yeah, let's use that word.
Mayor, we talked about that.
What's that?
We talked about that at our meeting, that budget line.
It had to be something
Yeah, yeah.
that I
Yep.
may disappear, and
Yeah.
I don't see where I did that.
It is what it is at this point, and we're gonna hopefully work through it here, so. That might get
I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, but
next year, 250 in your bank account.
That's cool.
I don't have a
Is
bank
it?
account.
Yeah,
Could I ask you a quick question?
no, just the chair.
So
Just the
this,
chair.
well,
So I had this
it's under a
laminated,
sewer
so for
fund,
future-
but
future,
is this no
generations.
blower attachment, could that be purchased separate? Or does it have to be purchased
At one
altogether?
time, there
Purchase
was,
from OGS
there was
to get the discount. you
lamps
buy
that
it at the same
came up.
Okay,
time, together.
They changed
okay,
it.
that makes
It could come
sense.
from a different accounts, it could come from a different account, but you can't, in order to get the discount, you have to buy it at the same time.
Okay. All right, I guess we'll nickel and dime this a little bit. Could I ask, under street maintenance, there's 10,000 for safety training, seminars, and freight. I don't know how that's broken out between the three. Could the safety training be done in-house, save some money, maybe cut out the seminars for the year?
We don't do any seminars.
Okay.
To be honest, that 10,000 safety training costs, Ron, do you have any? Or we're doing all in-house now? So that 10,000 is all being used up in freight.
And you expect to use all that for freight? Any room in that at all?
Not likely. Most of the 460 counts are rather small, and we end up using, you know, we might order something, 460 counts. With the garage 5132.
It's a lawnmower.
$28,000.
That's a
in the
mower.
460
That's a
account.
commercial mower.
It's a zero turn usually.
Run that out, we pull from here.
What's it, how much?
We intermingle
Yeah,
accounts.
they probably got to do the
Very
cycle, you
rarely
wear
is
them
there
out.
anything left
you
on
know.
those 460s.
All the landscapers.
460 accounts. Councilor Ashland is
Yeah.
missing,
We need a 250
but
fix.
the
That's a
460
fix. And we'll
accounts
talk about
are
pencils and erasers.
very versatile because they are miscellaneous expenses. There's no rules per se as to how we spend them, except for you can't buy equipment in excess of $5,000. Right, so they become very useful towards the end of the year to cover. You know, that's why we don't come for additional money for concrete or asphalt in October, November, because we start using those 460 accounts up. So that's open, honest, that's how we operate.
Okay. So this mower, is that, are we buying that because we're replacing something that is actually out of commission right now? Or are we trying to stay ahead of the game and replace something that's you're maintaining a lot?
The latter, we're staying ahead of the game. We do significant maintenance on these mowers, as you well, and I'm sure you all well know. I'm gonna do the math one of these days of how many acres of grass we cut. It's a lot. They're out every day. They fix them, repair them, they just get to the point where they need to be replaced, and that's where you gotta stay ahead of the game. Keep a new one every year, every other year. Sometimes we buy them two at a time, depends on how they were purchased. You know, because there were years that we bought 2 and 3. Well, guess what? Those machines come due at the same time.
So there's no crystal ball, right? So we might be able to limp along without buying one this year, potentially. I'm looking at
I don't know.
anything. Yeah.
I can't answer that.
You're not gonna like this. How many people are retiring? Anyone?
And what's his role?
What's-
Or his or her?
Yeah, their role.
Warehouse coordinator.
could that position remain, going along your lines, could that position remain empty for 1 year?
No. We're intending to fill that position.
Are you able to move someone else into that position and leave a different one potentially empty?
So the assistant warehouse coordinator currently is intended to fill that position.
Could you go without an assistant? Could you go without an assistant then? Bump them up and leave that spot open for a year?
I'd rather not.
Well, of course, I mean, I'd rather
Could
give you the $10 million budget you came in with,
Yeah,
but that's not realistic.
We were running deficient in the garage warehouse up until this year, when Mike, the warehouse coordinator, declared to us to let us know that come Thanksgiving, Mike's not coming to work anymore. And he's been with us for 30 years. Now, he's moving on. Good for him. Which we quickly filled the assistant position and is getting this person trained. Actually, that was our intent to begin with, was to have 2 people. I either need the assistant stock in the warehouse, or I need another mechanic. And the assistant in the warehouse made more sense. Could we do without it for a year? Maybe. Do I think next year when I sit at this table that I'm gonna get that position back? No.
Maybe.
Nope. I don't believe it.
Is the purchasing assistant able to do any of those jobs that would be the warehouse, part of the warehouse coordinators
She
to help
does.
out? Okay.
She's fully involved with the warehouse. So essentially, there's 3 people. Purchasing assistant is essentially the clerical end of the warehouse.
Okay, is there anywhere where we could get creative here to save the taxpayers some money?
I have an idea. Well, John brought it up earlier. If you wanted to be very aggressive on that AIM/TMA, as I pointed out, the TMA is the temporary, and we got about, I think it was 509,000 this year. You could go out on a limb and say, well, maybe we'll get that 509, or maybe we should go 252,000 and add that into on the revenue side, which would offset what you're trying to pay for, which is, that 252,000 that we missed. But that's an option that you could do if you feel comfortable in increasing in saying the TMA, the temporary municipal aid, would be increased.
I clearly support that. And
Yeah.
I'll say why I do. Our aid in 2026 was $2,736,000 between AMI and our TMA. The governor's budget, I talked to NICOM today, I talked to Chris Ryan's office today, that tripled that TMA. Clearly it's not speculative. It's gone from 50 million to 150 million. And if you read the governor's report when she issued that, it's clearly intended for the fiscal constraints of communities trying to do what we're doing, given the face of fuel costs and operating costs. I appreciate that it gets into the abyss of our unallocated fund balance, but this is clearly the legislative intent for these pressures that we have. I understand that we should deliver reasonable budgets and have expectations to our taxpayers that 80–90% of much of our budgets are salary and benefits and payroll for people that deliver services, but we also live in a community that is under great pressure. So that when we have a state senator and a governor that's delivered relief, and even be it temporary, we should share that temporary relief as best we can. And I know that we're using fund balance, and I appreciate the fiscal constraints, because also if you look at our sales tax, you've taken a very good and conservative view of that, and I appreciate that. And that's not financial gymnastics to try to get to an outcome. But I do think that the fact that we have gone from 2.73 million on the combination of those two to 3,305, that's hard money. That's not kind of, not sort of. It's passed. It's in the budget and it's coming. NICOM says it. Go to the NICOM website. There's a spreadsheet. I have the spreadsheet. Oswego's getting it, and it's coming. It's going to be posted. So it's not kind of. So I would encourage us to make some modest, appropriate adjustment to reflect the anticipated revenue.
We need to take advantage of that.
Take advantage of it for 1 year.
What's it in the sheet? What's the number?
I have the spreadsheets from NICOM, and there's a temporary, I can look up specifically, because these are the allocated enacted budget for the state of New York.
For
the-
26, 27.
It's,
We received their 26, 27 allocation in 26.
And-
That's all I'm saying.
and it's posted into our unallocated fund balance, correct?
It will be.
Yeah, but the legislative intent of the state of New York was to use that for budget relief. And is it inappropriate not to take that into consideration for the discussion we're having?
I mean, your point, John, is that, as she said, 26, 27 budget for them, it goes into our 26 budget. And her point, I think, is we don't know about the 27, 28 budget, which will affect our 27 budget. And you and I both agree that, hey, let's take a shot at and increase what we think it'll be. I don't think you should increase it 500,000, but 252.
It is clearly posted to be paid now. I will acknowledge that.
Okay, they received it last week.
Yeah. But I talking to the governor's office, talking to the, it was in the pipeline, so I didn't check the mail. But I appreciate that we have it. I would encourage us to recognize some of that as budget, as taxpayer relief.
That's a responsible way to go. I agree.
I would endorse us to, because we're also very dynamically accepting hard work of a budget committee, well-selected people working on behalf of the taxpayers. You know, Bill, Tim, and Laurel, who actually got us to before tonight, before we found the additional work that we had to do for paving, in a position that I think that all of us were feeling okay about. I think, and not to say that we don't think that the work you're doing is not necessary, but I think the compromise would be a fair conclusion.
Yeah,
So
I
what were you
agree.
thinking, 250?
250.
All right.
We'll put 250 in,
Yeah. Let's see what
into
that
revenue.
is. Should make it a wash, but close to.
To wash, there was 2,000 there, so that brings us back to the
1.1% increase. In the levy. And it's a
Of the stuff we've got here so far.
1.7% increase in the rate.
And that doesn't put it under the sewer, because that is
Right.
not the
Yeah.
right move.
Yeah.
And that's what we were working
Yeah, it's
for
not.
when we sat down for 2 days to try to figure this
Did you say
out. We were working for
1.7 or
something
1.1?
under
I'm
2%, and close,
Tax levy
1.1 is,
increase?
The tax levy is now
Okay.
13,700,000.
Sorry, okay,
oh,
thank
it
you.
was 1.1, but, okay,
The increase in the tax levy is 1.1 over the prior year.
okay.
Okay, okay,
The increase in the tax rate is 1.67.
I see, okay, thank you, appreciate it,
Which is $17 on a $100,000 home.
okay.
Does anyone know what the average home, 125?
Yeah, the 100 to 125 would be a fair
Yeah.
number.
Well, let's do 150.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably a good answer.
$26 or,
Can you divide that by 52 weeks?
no, because I only pay my bill once.
50 cents, 50 cents a week,
What is it weekly?
$13 more.
50 cents a week.
Here's the thing, I think it's reflective of hard work of people that are trying to deliver services, responsible budgeting, and, you know, I'm not trying to solve the menu to a price, I'm trying to solve it to equity.
Sure.
And I think that to me strikes the fair balance.
Yeah,
of all
absolutely.
concerned.
And I apologize, I'm a bit embarrassed of not catching that before
Yeah.
tonight.
Well, I
And I'm
asked.
glad you asked, yes.
I think
Good job,
it's my
Laura.
fault, and I
No,
apologize,
Colleen.
but it's bad.
Oh, we're not here to put fault on
Everybody's
anybody.
going to apologize.
Unless we got a cyborg somewhere, we're all human, okay? So, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Now are we gonna go through administrative stuff? How does that work?
Again, Tim, we followed the formats of the past.
Correct.
You know, I don't know whether we excuse now the DPW commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And Ron, thank you very much again, you know, for the hard work that you do. And
Ryan, thanks.
We appreciate all that you do.
Craig, thank you for the time Friday for the meeting. I appreciate
No
it.
worries. Thank you, appreciate it. Appreciate the hard work that everyone has done on this. It's been a doozy. I hope we have too long of a night ahead. I know last year, Mr. Walker called me about, I think, 8:30 or 8:45, might have been later than that, to let me know that they put the truck back in that they cut out.
I remember that. That's right.
Correct.
Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. So,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. 103 West Skylar. They have a driveway thing coming, and there's like no paving, so they want to know if they're gonna get in trouble. Because you guys are
Nice call, Mayor.
paving or something.
It's a team effort, right?
Absolutely.
No? I mean, I took 6 million out, and you guys, took a few $100,000 out. Team effort.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
It's all about the
Fine.
results.
Fine. I appreciate it. Thank you
Well,
so much.
certainly, we want to make sure that our
Thank you.
residents
Thank you.
are
Sorry.
happy, and they think this is a fair budget.
Let me know.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
We'll over IT.
I don't know,
Everybody.
do you want to go start from the beginning? So where do we want to go?
Beginning's usually a good place to start.
This seems like a
Cute.
good place to start.
Usually a good place.
So do we want to start with revenues, or do we want to start with expenses?
Start with the
When you
good.
say revenues,
Let's start with the good stuff first. Let's start with revenues.
Like, I have a question about line item A0001589. Other public services. There was a decrease in revenue of almost $500,000. I have no idea what that is, but,
It's the SRO reimbursement that's on the next line.
okay,
reclass, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the school resource officer is the
Yes.
first.
Okay.
You're on page 2, correct?
Yes, okay, see it. Thank you.
One of the things we were trying to accomplish with the budget this way is to reflect a little more of the actual day-to-day operations of the city rather than big chunks like are reported to the state and were usually budgeted. So that was really, we took the chart of accounts from the financial software and dumped it in here to use it so that we would have the codes that are actually in use.
Okay. So what is that 30,000 that's still in that line item?
I think that was police.
I think they get reimbursed, don't they, for like festivals and stuff like that sometimes?
Yeah, I believe that was Phil Katie's line item for public safety.
Okay.
I think it might be reimbursement for Dirt Week, is it?
It could,
Something.
For
That
for
could be
something
it.
else. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's Dirt Week. I think I had that conversation with Chief
Thank you.
Katie.
What about this additional 14,000 for the beach and pool charges?
like I said, we took that whole section. If you look at the whole section, it actually went down by about 85,000.
Okay.
The problem is that we broke it up into so many different line items
Got
that
it.
that it looks like some things went way down and other things went way up.
Okay.
But if I take and add up everything from
It's 4,000.
2021 to ice sales at 2115. The total increase in revenue, total increase in revenue is 85,600, and 50,000 of that is the cruise
ship,
Thank you.
ship.
20,000.
20, okay, sorry,
It's okay.
I'm getting tired.
For 2 years, it'll be 50. Close to 50 for 2 years.
I'm thinking you were asking because fees currently are 0 for the pool, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and yes, and so that's why there's things that don't have equal amounts, so that's why I was trying to figure it out. And if there's a way to make another $500,000, seems like a good plan to me.
At the marina?
No, the other public safety. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe there's a way to make another
Couple hundred with the marina.
yeah,
possibly.
another cruise ship. I don't know, yeah. I didn't know what this was, so forgive me for asking. What is the mortgage tax? It's line item A00030005.
It's the city's share of the mortgage tax that you pay when you get a mortgage.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's collected by the county, right?
Yeah.
Paid to us. Right.
Thank you. Anyone else on revenue?
Not with revenue, no.
Any other revenue items?
I don't have other revenue.
Yeah. So where we're gonna go next?
Go to IT, yeah.
IT, it's probably the next biggest budget, isn't it?
Yeah, $1 million.
Yeah, so, I did ask
Can you just
Steve.
share page, if you see it?
Yeah, there's a-
I have the bookmark with
I'm
me.
gonna have to find it.
8, page 8.
Thank you.
It's on page what?
8.
I'm gonna pass it.
Okay.
Technology.
I'm not too concerned about like the hardware component because computer hardware is expensive. But there's $12,000 for training for only 2 people, and I have a lot of experience with this. There's a lot of new options now for reduced training or free training that are available online, or a lot of vendors will supply an in-person option, an online virtual option. Virtual option a lot of times is half the price, plus you don't have the travel expenses. One thing that I don't believe this job really requires certification. So if you take that out and just do the training course, that reduces it by half. I do believe continuing education, especially in the field of IT, is important. But to give you an idea, I have 5 people on my team where I work, and my budget usually is $10,000. It does vary if we do joint trainings with other groups, but and that gives pretty much everyone one course a year, and then we use the free courses for the rest, and that covers Cisco network training, database training, software training, coding, data analysis, and I've taken many of them, and they're very good classes. Sometimes they're actually better than the in-person training, because usually a lot of times the in-person training is just like 2 or 3 days, and it's all thrown at you. The online trainings are usually self-paced, which is really nice. I would actually propose lowering from 12,000. I originally wanted to go 4,000 or 5,000, but I think going 6,000 because I did not get a response from Mr. Coffey as to what he's looking at for training. It doesn't sound like he really has anything chosen right now, but I think 6,000 would be fair for the next year.
When did you ask him for the response?
I sent him an email late last night for my follow-up response.
In his defense, he's been working all day today. We have, and I can't really share the details because it has to do with some type of security in our IT system, and I can't share it with the public since this is live stream, but he's been very busy coordinating meetings to fix an issue.
Sure.
So that may be the reason why he wasn't available to answer your question.
Which is very understandable.
Do you?
Yeah, this is an issue that is it's a high priority, let's put it that
Sure.
way. And as I said, I can't share the details of it in public.
Yeah.
Sure. But in defense of the cut, he can always come back.
Sure.
We can always take a specific request with a plan. If there's a question as to whether we value it, without more specifics, maybe we consider it as a supplemental consideration. I could go either way on it.
Yeah, I would suggest that we start with a $6,000 reduction, and then if he wants to come back and offer additional details, because I will add, there are some certifications that you do have to get in order to call support. For instance, there's camera software certification that you have to get. I'm thinking of one product, I won't say it here since we're live streaming, but it's about $2,000 to get. And then to renew, which is every 18 months, it's $250. So it's very low once you get the initial certification. I'm not aware of what software that these certifications might be required for in order to call support. But in my experience, usually that's very uncommon practice.
We don't have the amounts from 2000 and budgeted for 2026. So what do we know what the hardware was for 2026?
Through July?
Just what was budgeted. We don't have that. We just have the proposed. For equipment?
There may not have been. I kind of wonder because I think part of it is part of like a network upgrade, which is something that you do like every 8 to 10 years.
So that's what the 200,000 is for?
I don't know.
Are you in it? Which,
What are we looking at?
which department are you looking at?
I think it's down to 150 IT still.
What's the line though?
410, I believe.
No, it's under 410. So
Yeah, that was
It's
reduced down to 150.
Oh, is this the 2026?
Yeah,
2020,
It's not marked.
it's on page 8. Are you looking at page 8?
Yeah, page 8, here. Actual items. It's not marked.
Oh, I'm looking at this page. Laurel.
Different page 8.
Oh,
Yeah,
what-
it's
what-
150,
yeah,
150 is
What
what I
page
see.
8 are you talking
yeah,
about?
there was no increase in that.
And that's why somebody you actually want pretty consistent because
Like, what am I doing?
I know most IT departments will do hardware replacements on a phased approach, so they kind of like don't do it all at once. It takes a lot of time and effort to replace hardware, so I'm not surprised that it's consistent.
There's a significant increase, almost $70,000 in personnel.
That's an additional person, I think, right?
I don't know. What is that?
We had an interim. We
I
voted
can
on
answer that. He wanted, originally in his budget, he wanted an administrative person. And I felt that between salary and fringes were probably close to like $80,000. And I felt that it didn't warrant a full-time position. So I offered a compromise. I offered to split Kristen in my office with his office. So the salary that you see there is part of her salary and a salary bump for him. That's the increase. If you look in the mayor's budget, you'll see that mine went down. The mayor's salary budget item went
Yeah,
down.
like 30-something thousand. So a 30.
So I'm splitting Kristen's salary because she'll be doing administrative work for IT.
Okay. So Steve's asking for a 30,000 increase?
He's getting a bump in salary, yes.
But it shows 68,000.
I could show you the documentation that he showed me, and he justified it, and I felt just what I mentioned a little while ago about we have a security issue that he's working on with a handful of people in a certain department here. He's responsible for the security of our infrastructure, IT, and he made a good case to me that in the private sector that he could be making a heck of a lot more. In addition to all his other duties, he does drone work. He'll be here Thursday and Friday. He's actually bringing in a cot to sleep. But he does a lot for the city of Oswego. And based on the numbers in the private sector and the value that I put on his job, I felt a salary bump was in line for 2027.
So what does that bring up the salary to?
It's 70,000 more.
68,722.
So $30,000.
So that's for 30,000?
Approximately.
That's a big raise for
It's
1
a
year.
huge raise, like
Yeah.
30%, right?
Well, in
20%,
addition,
30%.
there's other things that you didn't know what happened. We used to have another person who actually took care of the drone program. And the drone program, when he left, was given to Steve. Well, he's been doing that for several years now without an additional pay bump. So again, I made the call in the budget that with his additional duties, with his responsibility, if this, and I'm sure Councilor Thompson can speak to this, but if for some reason we're attacked and we have to pay a ransom and they shut down our IT system and we have to pay a ransom of $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, we're in deep, you know what. His responsibility is huge when it comes to the IT infrastructure. And again, I did the research, I saw what people are being paid in the private sector, and believe me, he could make a heck of a lot more
So
if he
again,
was in the private sector.
what is the total salary? That's what I
130.
130.
130? That's the proposed
Yes.
salary? I will tell you in the IT field, so you're talking two different things. So in the IT field, that is on the high end. I could tell you that right now. In IT security, which these are people with certifications, so the education, I don't know his background.
He
to be fair.
has all that.
With probably 20 plus years of experience, yeah, they're probably making 160K.
Can you tell the residents of Oswego that they're getting a 30% raise?
I can't.
Right.
Not $30,000 raise is
It's a
huge.
significant raise for the
And
same job.
one thing I don't understand is why.
I have to say something there, I'm sorry, it's not actually the same job.
Oh, is his job changing?
No, it's actually a reflection, it's a correction, like the mayor was saying, to reflect the numerous responsibilities that Steve takes care of, not just limited to the IT infrastructure, which to Shane's point, if he was just an IT director, then yes, it would be on the high end. But he's also responsible for our security from a cybersecurity perspective. He is ultimately responsible for the data that exists in the city, whether it be confidential or otherwise. And on top of all that, he also intensively works with the police department, providing forensic services for them that he doesn't have to do. He works off hours that he doesn't report. He works harder than any this point, I would argue is not just to say significantly less, but meaningfully less, more than 50% less than what the same skill set will be transferring to on the private market at this point. And he's choosing to avoid that to engage in public service. However, due to the increased liability of all of these different roles that he stepped into, then that is why he has requested the increase.
So should part of his salary go under the police budget?
No.
No? Why not? You just said he
He
does.
just doesn't, that's just one thing to make.
He also takes care of fire department. Do you want to put him under fire department? He also takes care of wastewater. That's where he'll be, well, I don't want to put too much out there, but he'll be at wastewater taking care of some issues. So again, IT covers many, many departments. And
Just your
as
expense.
Jordan mentioned,
Yeah.
I mean, he could be making a heck of a lot more, and he does a lot. You're not here every day like I am. And matter of fact, he and I had a meeting today. We're going to be issuing, I don't know if you noticed, we changed the doors downstairs when you come in on First Street or Second Street. We're going to be issuing ID cards for people who want to get into the building before 9 o'clock. And he's taken that upon himself as well, which, again, didn't have to do that. Yeah, because the locks are broken, so we had to replace the security system for the doors. So his recommendation, and I said it's a great idea to issue everybody the cards so they can, and everybody, the system does allow where we can know who comes in. You know, if somebody comes in on a Saturday, and of course it'll be according to need. I mean, we're not going to give access to somebody on a Saturday or Sunday, but the people who do have that, it'll all be logged in. And again, he took that on himself. If you were to sit with him, and I have 7 pages of his responsibilities, and I'm strongly urging that he's worth the money.
So 2 things. So I'm sure he's definitely worth a lot. I think IT in general is underpaid, but there's also fringe benefits, right? He gets a take-home vehicle, so he's saving on gas. There's other benefits that come into play. But one of my concerns is, why is IT taking care of the drone program?
Yeah.
So that should be, we have a drone officer, that should be under his care, and we are paying support, a fee. Any software support, they could call that company and get the support. If it's hardware, I know the officer was looking for a toolkit a couple months back when I was visiting the department. So they do the maintenance. That should not be under IT. That is not an IT responsibility. I would argue that all day. So I feel for him.
If I may, the infrastructure to maintain all of that is IT's responsibility, such as all of the networking, all of everything that goes into maintaining the LTE backups, ensuring that we have all of the technology in space to ensure compliance, all of this technology in place to comply with the FAA and their stringent regulations that they have in place for our particular program, on top of everything else. All of the work that goes in behind the scenes, it's not just piloting the drones, but it's everything else, is very firmly under the purview of IT.
There will definitely be overlap, especially with the network and stuff like that, but network is IT responsibility either way. Data storage is IT responsibility either way. To call it out separately, I argue that one, but $30,000 in 1 year, like, could we do a multi-year increase? Does it have to be 1 year?
That's what I negotiated. He actually started higher, to be honest with you. You know, we already said that somebody with his skill set, his training, and all the information that he's learned as far as the security aspect, to me, is the most important part. I don't want to be the one to tell the public that we were hacked and all of our systems are shut down and we have to pay a ransom of $100,000. I don't want that. And he came to me, he presented his credentials, he presented a very good argument that in the private sector he could be making a heck of a lot more, and I value what he brings to this city. And as I said, I don't think we should be quibbling over this kind of money when we're talking about a possibility of a security breach costing us a hell of a lot more. So I am supporting this, but I don't have a vote in this, and you people are going to do whatever you're going to do, but I think you're discounting the value of a very important employee of the city of Oswego. Just like you just talked to 3 department heads. Each of them, DPW, OPD, and OFD, have a budget, let's say approximately $7 million. The budget for the IT department is not $7 million, but the responsibility is huge. It may not be 60 or 70 people, but the responsibility to protect the vulnerabilities of this city is important. Just like the city of Oswego Police Department protects our streets, this man is protecting 24/7. He lives and breathes this. He's here early in the morning, and he's here, like I said, he'll be here Thursday and Friday. He's bringing in a cot to work. That man, of all the people, and I think you said it best, he's one of the hardest working people in this city government that I've seen, and I've been here almost 10 and a half years, over 10 and a half years. And he started out actually in your position. He started out as the assistant and worked his way up, and he earned where he is today. And I would say that, yes, it's a big increase, but the man is worth it for what we get, the value we get from him. You're going to do what you're going to do, but I'm saying that he's worth it.
Why didn't you do an increase last year then?
Why didn't he do it last year?
No, why didn't you? Because it's you negotiated.
He didn't. I'm not giving people raises unless they ask for it. Why would I give people raises that they don't ask for it?
So
That's not being fiscally responsible.
So did something happen this year that changed that made it worth a significant increase?
Well, it was a significant increase only because that was the number that we fell on. But he came to me. You'd have to ask him why he didn't ask last year. He came to me. If you think about it, we got a great deal. We didn't give it to him last year.
Why did you, is Kristen's, do you not have enough work for her over here?
No, Kristen's going to take on additional responsibilities.
So
I've got plenty of work for her to do, but she's willing to take on extra work. She's another, and again, you know, you're going to say, well, I'm prejudiced, but that woman works, her fingers to the bone in my office, and she does have enough bandwidth to take care of things in the, and she's willing to take on that extra responsibility.
Are we giving her a pay raise as well then?
She is getting a couple $1,000s more, because I'm bumping her up a pay grade. It's in the budget. I'm not hiding anything.
So if I could say something, I support Mr. Coffey's raise because I feel like it's on the same, not the same level, but the same kind of value that brings to our city with like the mental health condition, like Gina, with the fire department or the police department. Like it brings another level of service to the city that we can't get anywhere else. So I mean, yeah, it's $30,000, and yeah, that's tough sell to constituents. But like, again, we have to take the value of what we get. If we lose Steve, then, you know, I don't know if we'll pick up the slack. I mean, no offense to Jordan, but like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable with everything happening in the world and everything and cyber attacks constantly. It's probably not going to happen, but it could, and the fact that we would potentially leave ourselves vulnerable to an attack like that, just because we're a port city, we have nuclear power plants here. Like it doesn't stand a reason to not. This is not $30,000 that I'm comfortable with getting rid of our budgeting out. I think we could find it somewhere else if we are talking about $30,000. We can find it somewhere
Several weeks ago, we received notice from Homeland Security, and I think Jordan could back me up on this, that Iran was attacking wastewater and freshwater infrastructure in municipalities.
Yeah.
This man, he's our frontline defense against Iran attacking us and taking over our wastewater or freshwater facilities. It's a huge responsibility. And I'm sorry that some of you don't see that. I'm glad to see that Councilor Kennedy sees the value in paying this man what he's worth. And actually, as I said, if you do the research, he's actually getting less than what he could in the private sector. But he's a homegrown guy. He's born and raised here. And I don't know if anybody knows this. He started out in the fire department. Anybody know that?
No.
He actually started out in the fire department. So he is a man that has some loyalty to the city of Oswego, and he's worth it. I'll leave it at that.
I just want to say, since it keeps being brought up about cyber attacks and security issues, you could take all the precautions you want and still get attacked.
Sure.
Of course.
You know,
It's not-
I do appreciate Mr. Coffey's experience, but at the end of the day, I would say at least the training, cutting that down to $6,000 this year,
There's-
unless he comes back with justification,
What
I
about,
think would be
like,
reasonable.
Serious sex on wire paying for services? Do you know
I did-
anything about that?
I did. I did ask about that. So it's only $888. It's for a couple of specific events. They only pay for it when they actually need it. So,
Events?
yeah, let me see if I think I have it right
Can't
here,
they,
actually.
can't they call and like pretend they're gonna quit and then get a better deal? I mean,
So
I do
they
that with my
play
Spectrum all the
holiday
time.
music
Yeah.
here at City Hall, and then occasionally outside the building. It's used at the splash pad to provide child-friendly music. And again, it's only $888, so I think the city's getting the benefit of that one.
I agree with the 6,000, like reducing the training, and then until we get like a better number from Steve, that'd be fine.
And just to, thank you, Councilor Kennedy. And just to go along with that, I'd be happy to help the IT department find resources for training. Reduced training or free training. There is a lot out there now. A lot of universities actually offer it for free, have full courses too.
Yeah, until we get more information, I think that's a fair assessment, and then if he needs more, we'll figure it out later, but I think for now, we can work on that. I think that's good. That's just my opinion. But
And I would agree with Councilor Kennedy, but I also agree the increase as a percentage seems from a budgetary point of view, but I think this is an instance where we have to side with what we've been cast in terms of a decision by management and support management, because it's a core function, and not lacking continuity in this department, in this area, has peril. And I think that, you know, I don't know, that maybe from a human resource point of view, as we hire and staff these positions, strategy to undervalue, to have corrections at some point should be maybe cast in the decisions as we look at these departments, so that we know planning-wise what the resources necessary to retain and have qualified people serving those. But yeah, I support management's decision on on that based upon what description you've given to us, and I wish it wasn't a $30,000 increase, but that's where your explanation puts it, so that's, I accept it.
anyways,
I guess the only thing I would have to say about it is, when we're looking at salaries and stuff, and we're comparing government to private sector, been in both, the fringe benefits of the public
Yes.
sector are far outweigh anything you're ever going to find. First of all, you're not going to find any private sector anymore that has a retirement.
Sure.
And speaking from experience, being a public servant, the retirement means everything.
Sure.
And could I have made more money as a mechanic somewhere else, or a head mechanic? Sure. But I stayed because of the benefits that I
30
had.
years of service has a legacy
So-
benefit.
So, you know, I mean, we have to, as we're doing salaries, we have to look at that, because that is an expense that's going to come into play in our budget. I'm not saying anything against Steve or anything. I'm just saying, to John's remark about salaries, as we look forward and we're looking at salaries, we also have to look at what benefits go along with these jobs.
And
that's a budgetary impact.
the largest exponential, Colleen, is it not our greatest growth in health benefits?
Absolutely. It's like
So
much.
that eclipses many departments. So, and that grows at double digits,
At least 15% a year.
15% a year. So every person we bring in,
Expensive.
pharmaceutical, the drivers, we have no control over. So that then becomes that becomes a concern. Yep.
But I think, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, it's not my place.
Was it about health benefits?
It's about governmental benefits in general used to be the reason people would go work for municipalities.
Sure.
And it's just not the same as it used to be 25 years ago.
Right.
But they're still significantly better than most private sectors.
I mean, I work for the state of New York, and yeah, I can definitely say it's definitely better than working
Most
in
private
the
sector.
private sector. So, yeah.
Okay, Steve? Yeah. Anything else on IT? Because we have an IT guy here.
I don't know, you saved my life today.
Are you okay with the $6,000 cut for training? Is there any, I mean, we have hefty service, what? Yeah. We have hefty service fees,
What service fees?
like 600,000 approximately, or I don't have a number off the top of my head. For software and stuff like that, are there anything that, I don't see those going down, I only see those going up. So are there other things that we can like,
So as far as the 440 account is concerned, when it comes to software, the vast majority of that is outside of my department. I flip the bill, and everything that I have listed for OFG, OPE, DW, that's all outside of me. So that would be up to those department heads to make those cuts for that software.
They're brutal.
The way that I inherited it
Yeah.
was those bills run through my department, so the money goes into my 440 to pay those.
Good example would be the Civic Plus that the counselors use.
Civic Plus is one, anything Spillman for the police department or any of that stuff. I mean, the way that I have it broken down with department, abbreviations is, that's all on that. We've tried to do a lot of consolidate and price shop for things, we do Onondaga County, for instance, they bids. Go ahead. That's up to those departments.
do we renegotiate with them? Like, is that something that you can do? I don't know for the real. So once you're in, you're theirs.
So, I mean, we vendor shop, and I know that, like, the fire department just this year signed on with a new company that consolidated 4 programs into 1 program at a lesser cost. So we do try to find avenues of saving for that, but again, it never goes down, just like everything else tonight.
And we probably don't have enough licenses for specific
Sure.
software to even,
Right.
throw our weight
Yeah.
against maybe Office 365, but.
Well,
On that one, we're locked in on an agreement, so we're actually getting substantially cheaper pricing than what we would if we went to market right now.
And what about the 150 for hardware, all that stuff?
So that's what we found. I mean, this is going, again, how I inherited the department. That 150 has stayed the same pretty much year after year. That keeps things going. That's computer replacements, server replacements, like patrol PCs for the PD. Those units come in at $5-6 grand a piece for a full setup. So that's that. Also on a cycle of roughly 40 desktops every year that we try to replace. So it's that 150 just keeps things going. I had tried to put in for an extra 42 into the 410 this year that got taken out with the mayor because I had other projects that I wanted to do with it, but we just brought it back to the base 150 where we feel comfortable.
What's the difference? Oh, wait. Maybe it's all, what's the number?
The 200 to 410, the difference between those equipment accounts.
Yeah.
So 200 is fixed assets, right? It's over 10,000. But again, it's rare that comes there. That's why I keep it at 35. I figure that's 3 fixed asset purchases as far as equipment goes.
But shouldn't some of that stuff go under the police department, like drones and squad cars? Those
Well, squad cars, yeah, but the equipment that goes into it, like their
yeah,
BT,
the computers.
Okay.
see, that's all you walk
Real
away.
messy there. It's not clean.
Hi, Steve. How you doing? Good. Steve, could you just give me a quick background on your education and training real quick?
Yeah,
Just
so,
real quick.
so I have a bachelor's of science from WGU in cybersecurity and information assurance.
Right.
I have, I know I was talking to Councilor Thompson about it, I have a host of different certifications that came with and without that. A lot of CompTIA stuff, ISC2, IDLE, so there's a lot of certs. Also a lot of Microsoft stuff as well.
As you know, we're live streaming, obviously.
Yep.
I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
the
I know.
public wants to know that
I'm
background.
glad it's working, I set it up today, so.
one thing to know, RAM, server RAM,
Yeah.
and storage
Yeah.
has increased drastically over the last year, and it's expected to increase for the next year before it stabilizes. So, I wish. So cost to replace computer hardware, like if you have servers or
Even a
stands or-
desktop, the desktop that I bought a year ago, about $650 for the unit, I just bought 3 more at $820.
Yep, everything's increasing. So the fact that's staying the same, that's actually a good thing. Now, network hardware, that's been relatively consistent from what I've seen. So there are a lot of items listed here that are probably consistent, but I don't know how much server or computer hardware you have that you manage. But
Yeah, I can tell you, it's about 220 user workstations and about 8 servers.
yeah. I can tell you right now, a server I'm looking at has increased $2,000 in 3 weeks. So, so it's going to keep going up.
You gotta buy it in January. Prices go up for Christmas.
They're going up all year. That one's not going down just because there's a shortage of those chips. So just something to keep in mind, and that's thanks to AI. So AI is going to increase a lot. AI might be something good to look in the future to consolidate, streamline tasks. It's come a long way. Something that you and I could chat about sometime. But yeah, I think 150 is reasonable.
And that's, I skirt to the end of the year, pretty much closing that out. I mean, I try to keep 5 or 10 that I can put back into general, but it's there if I need it. And that's, unfortunately, it's one of those things that if I need it now for a lot of the equipment.
All I know is when you need Steve, he's there, and Steve knows what I'm talking about. And he was there for me, so it was definitely, you know, a great resource to have. So I appreciated that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just have to get you to come over and fix my aunt's remote. It's usually she's used the wrong one.
Okay. Next.
So just
Where
to
do you wanna go
recap,
to next?
I see the 6,000.
Yeah.
Yep, we'll make it work.
Any other questions for Mr. Coffey?
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, very good.
Again,
Thanks for-
thank you.
Thanks for
what
coming.
you do.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Enforcement.
I
Oh, where do you want to go?
I have to leave soon because I'm diabetic and I like haven't
Now,
eaten anything.
just to be fair,
No,
I don't
like
think the other
food.
department heads were invited,
Not candy, but
were
like-
they? I did not see
I
an
did
invite
not,
sent out.
No.
I would suggest going forward, or next year at least, that we invite all department heads.
I agree.
Yeah, I
They should
agree.
be here. It's their budget.
Yeah, because I don't think it's fair just to focus on, you know, DPW, police, and fire. I think we need to focus on all of them.
I think what we call this is a rookie mistake, so, you know,
That's
we
fair.
can chalk that
I
one
thought
up
that-
and learn from our mistake and.
I thought they would be here
Well,
because we're
well,
talking about their
In
budgets.
the defense of the previous councils that I've been involved with, we did invite more than just the big three, but only because, you know, we felt that maybe, you know, animal control, we had questions and we wanted to invite them. Seriously, you don't need to invite assessor or personnel to this, because if you look at their budgets, there's not a lot of meat on the bone.
No.
There's no trucks,
Housing.
there's no payloaders, there's no, well, there is a little training, I think. But you don't need to invite everybody if I can give you the, some experience that I feel is necessary in this. So, yeah, invite who you want, but I don't think you need everybody here.
That's
Right.
fair.
Since engineering's not here, on contracted service, and I'm sure there's a good answer, I'm just curious what it is. We increased that line by 370 for contracted
I
service.
didn't hear in the beginning, whose account?
Engineering,
Engineering.
Yeah, I think that line went for contracted services.
Yes, I can explain that one if you want.
That's what I'd like, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. We have a lot of projects that we'd like to complete, like culverts and bridge replacements and other things. And this money is for contracted services to have a company, because before you can apply for grants for all that infrastructure work, you need to have studies done. So it's basically what you guys were talking about the other day on Monday, hiring GHD. We would like to hire some engineering companies who provide studies and engineering studies for a culvert on West First Street, just south of Paloma Street, or a culvert over on East Seneca Street. So that's really what that money is for. And I took out other things, but I left that in because I thought it was important to get those studies done so we can apply for grants down the road.
And just to walk through that, though, if we had $400,000 of contracted engineering services, and that then became a bondable project 18 months from now, how do you take that embedded general fund money, and does that convert in any way?
I think that this 370 is the city's share of those projects anyway. Didn't you take out all the bondable projects?
I did take out all the bondable projects. There was $4 million that, in her defense, she was new to the budget process.
So that's the city's
our city
share
engineer
of a bondable project.
Yeah, and these are just the designs for these 3 projects here.
To be able to get the grant.
Yes.
Mayor,
So
so
it's not
design
really-
means like
Well,
the
It's not-
project design or whatever? Like so for the HVAC for the McCovey?
Yes.
This is just,
But
okay.
like I said,
I didn't
in
understand.
order to apply for grants, you got to have some type of documentation showing.
Documentation, okay. I didn't understand what design meant, so thank
If
you.
we have $1 million project, and we receive an $800,000 grant, the city share $200,000. We bond for $1 million? We go to a ban on a million, right?
Okay, so if you've got $1 million project
Yeah.
you're gonna bond for,
Yep.
800,000,
Okay.
and 200,000 is gonna be the city's share, so
Okay.
that you don't put that burden on the taxpayer, then that would go over in capital fund and it would be part of the project.
So it's gonna come out of general funds. Your 200K is gonna come out of general fund.
Yes,
Okay.
so you would just be transferring it from general fund over to capital fund anyway.
It'd still be a burden on the levy. It'll be
Yes.
coming out of that.
Yes, whether it's a transfer to capital or whether it's in engineering.
Unless it's water or sewer, then it goes to those accounts.
Yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
Could I just ask, under code enforcement, what the contracted services of 51,500 is? I see it's was the same as last year, or this current year. I just want to understand what's for. Page 10 out of 26 in the front.
Oh, 10.
Sorry, what, Shane, what were you looking at?
The 51,500 under code enforcement.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's 3620, 0440.
I see it. All right, thank you.
Is that what we pay people when you counselors have a resident in your ward that has grass over 6-8 inches, and we bring in our contractor to cut the grass, and then is that? Contracted services. I'm looking for the justification. Did you see it in the?
I think wasn't that the snapshot I got?
I didn't see it in the binder, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the binder.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
No, I know, I see it there, but I don't
There's
see it,
no
like,
description.
there's no
Yeah,
description.
contracted services. He does have it in here. He says, this budget line is for all the property cleanups that are completed by a contractor. Monies from this budget line are also used for the purchase of office stationery such as envelopes, business cards, and signs. So somebody has tall grass, we call the contractor and they take care of it. If somebody doesn't shovel their sidewalk in the wintertime, we call the contracted services vendor and they do that. If we have to clear out I don't want to use too many examples, but if somebody has a yard that's full of crap that needs to be cleaned up and they're not willing to do it, we do it, contracted services. And of course, we charge them for it, we put it on their taxes in that scenario. Again, they have to pay for it, so I think that's why it's in the budget.
Well, no,
It has to be paid for up
it
front.
just doesn't say, I don't think it,
Yeah,
there's a
there's
page,
no
there's
note
no
of it
page
in
for
here.
it, that's why I would,
Oh, you don't have this?
I
No.
don't,
Is that a letter?
Yeah, we don't have that.
we don't have, we didn't have that.
I did include the letters, you told me not to.
So we don't have that, so that's
don't
why
have that.
that's
All
why
right,
we're
I just
asking.
read it.
Okay,
Sorry
okay.
about that.
No, no,
So,
it's fine.
is
But why
this,
is envelopes in there?
yeah, that's kind
That's
of weird.
weird.
Envelopes,
Office
that-
supplies.
office,
But it wouldn't be, envelopes shouldn't be under contracted services, should it?
Sure.
yeah, because
We're
they
hiring
have,
somebody to
they have to send out the,
Oh, to mail the envelopes, not the
Sure.
purchase of envelopes.
yeah, like, yeah, well, I'm sure there's, you gotta purchase it to like send them a bill. Okay, here's the bill that
Charge
you,
them to lick it too.
yeah. Here's the bill for
I'm
this,
just wondering, like, in
so,
the future, if it makes more sense, like, could DPW possibly do those cleanups and grass cuttings? Like, would it save money?
you're asking them to do a lot.
Have you looked
Like,
into it?
That's a
Well,
lot.
you already talked about earlier that there's all that overtime and you wanted to add 3 or 4 more employees. Now you want to add cleanups.
No, it's,
And our duty is,
I think they have enough on their plate, to be honest with you.
our duty is not to do it more efficiently. Our duty is to do it at a fair rate and charge them and attach it to their tax bill and have them pay it.
It's probably
That's a
better
big-
to have a third party do it anyways, because then we're not, yeah.
we're not like
Now-
liable and.
Do we
stuff.
pay this fee like up front, or is it as needed?
Oh, as needed,
Okay.
as needed.
So the 51,000 is kind of like a estimate for like what we
Yeah,
expect for.
Yeah, because
Okay.
in their budget, I'm sure Mike probably looked at what he spent last year, and he probably said about the same. Again, it's an estimate. We don't know how many cleanups and how many people are going to have high grass, do we? Usually in the spring, there's quite a few of them.
So it ends up being a wash for the most
Yeah,
part?
yeah,
Okay.
it's actually a wash, exactly.
Okay.
We actually charge them, when we charge somebody for, I don't know if you know this, if you've gotten any complaints, but, we'll take the bill that we get from our contractor, and then we'll add a handling fee, and then we'll bill the homeowner, and I think the handling fee is substantial. So we're actually not making money, but, we are charging for the services that we provide for billing them. And it does go on their taxes if they don't pay us. Their property taxes.
What about, animal control, the truck and generator? There's no info on that, so do you know what that's about?
Well, I can speak to both of those. Remember that there's all these mandated services that the state is requiring, and that's the state agricultural department that oversees animal control. I had a nice long talk with Carrie about her budget, and she pointed out that all the mandates that they're asking, they want, the kennel has to have air conditioning, it has to be climate controlled. Well, one of the things is the truck. 2 things about the truck. Number 1, she said that it's in bad shape. So what I did was I called up and checked with the head mechanic at the garage, and I said, I want your advice. I want your opinion. What condition is the truck? He says, it absolutely needs to be replaced. The frame is cracked and it needs to be replaced. And then Carrie made it even more important because she said that one of the mandates from the state is that if you pick up a cat or a dog, and let's say it's summertime and it's 90 degrees, you can't put them in a cage in the back pickup truck in the back end. It has to be in where the air conditioning is. So again, the requirement is twofold. One is to replace a vehicle that is not working properly, and also because you need to have that ability to put the animal in an air conditioned or climate controlled. As far as the generator goes, that's also one of the mandates by the state government. If you were to go to the AG's website, you would see, and it started in December of last year, all the requirements, and we're trying to get up to that point, making sure that the animals have 15 minutes every 2 hours of walking, and they have to have water in their cages. And there's a lot of mandates that we're trying to, and that's why we're lucky that we got the $500,000 to help with that infrastructure. But I left the truck and I left the generator in there after talking to her and talking to the mechanic. That's how I justified it.
So does it have to be like a truck, like a pickup truck, or can it be like a big, like SUV, so it doesn't have to be like in the, you know what I mean? Like, so it can be air conditioned, like?
Well,
I don't know.
Did you ever see their animal pickup truck? I mean, it
Yeah,
has, you know.
it has a cab.
It's kind of a self-contained, and it's got cages, and, I mean, it's a specialty vehicle.
Okay, okay.
So I believe that wouldn't work.
Okay, all right, that makes sense, okay. Just a thought.
Under A 1221, are these added new people, specialists and administrative assistant? They were not in the 26 budget, or are they moved from somewhere else?
I'm sorry, I'll have to,
Sorry.
1221, community development?
Yeah.
Yes, we're looking to hire another person for community development.
Is it 2?
Well, remember, we had 3 there. Amy
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
We have 2 now. And we're hiring a person to take what Abby used to do, which is like the bookkeeping and stuff. So we're looking, and we're going to hire that person this year. But next year, we're looking to hire another person for that office. At one time, there were 4 people in that office.
So would this staff that office to 4?
Yes.
I believe under community development, I saw a item, I'm trying to find it right now, for sponsorship of $17,000. What is that for?
Sponsorship of what? Oh, was it 17,000?
17,000.
Yeah. The city of Oswego occasionally sponsors things. Are you familiar with the Atomic Fishing Derby?
Yep.
We sponsor them, and I don't have it in front of me, but it's not a big number, 1,000 or 2,000. Years ago, the Pumpkin Fest was handled by an independent agency or a group, and Pumpkin Fest was taken over by the YMCA. And when that happened, the city of Oswego signed on as a sponsor, and that's part of that 17,000 is Pumpkin Fest as well.
Just those 2, nothing else?
There might be something else. I mean,
creepy
if it's
crawl.
in the budget, it's something we
The
do.
creepy crawl, yeah, the Halloween.
Yeah, creepy crawl.
Tree lighting.
Tree lighting.
Yeah, so sponsorship, I mean, it's not a big number, but it is justifiable. I did review those numbers, and I'm looking for that number, but it is sponsorship. We do sponsor occasionally some things.
On that same line, is professional services, is that the new grant writing service?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's Saratoga.
yeah.
We did go down 20,000 because we're not having a 13126 day, so that's.
Anybody hungry? Should we order a pizza? Are we going to be here long?
I hope not.
Brandon, can you get us a pizza?
Hey, listen, I will, if you want me to go get your pizza, I will. I don't mind.
I'm only kidding.
No, just listening back there, we only put for the public. All of you, really, all of you were doing fantastic.
Where are we at with tax increase?
Community development.
Is it 1% even?
We're at 1%.
1.62. So what is it?
1.05 tax levy, 1.622 tax rate. So $26 a year on $150,000 loan, 50 cents a week.
1 point.
But I didn't want to lose the thing because I don't pay the bill.
It's already been out there.
Yeah, try coming down 52 times and pay your bill. 50 cents. Let's see, so what's our tax rate at right now? 1.66?
But we're under the tax levy limit by $348,000.
So it's 1.6, okay.
Mayor Cardino, is there anything else that you would cut?
Me?
Yes.
No. The budget I proposed is what I felt after taking $10.6 million out was a fair budget. You've found a few items that I see value in making those changes, but no, there's nothing that I would cut.
After reviewing this, the only thing I think that we should potentially add back in is getting from 12 of the fire outfits to 15 or 16.
I thought we put
Or
that
do
up,
we officially
I
do
thought we
that? I
put that
didn't
up
think we
to 20. I
officially
thought
did
we, because of the,
Talking to the fire chief, like, he's okay with a smaller number because they're not comfy,
Yes.
heat stress, and that technology changes on a year-to-year basis.
Yes, it
So
does.
like 15, I think is reasonable. Do we want to do 20? I don't know because of the issues.
well, that was just to keep
20
him on, that was keep him on schedule with the 5 that he was gonna do
Yes,
this year.
15 and
And
then
then,
15 next
and then
year.
we did 20, then it would keep him on his 25 for next
Oh, I
year.
was thinking 20 total, and then we can pace it out for 5 years if we.
No, it's like 100 total.
Right,
Yeah.
so 5 years would be 100.
Yeah, I think he said it could go up to 7 or 8 years. So if we
Yeah.
do 6, it's about 15.
Right. So that's the only thing I can see that he was very generous with his budget for us.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it was.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yes.
think 20 would be
I
too much. That would
he's
keep
getting
him on
5
his
this year,
schedule.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he's already
And
getting
then
So I would think
20
Dollar
next
amount
year.
we're talking?
15, we're upping it by not very much.
You're only
but
talking about, what, 18, let's see,
12 to
they're
15,
40,
three
they're
more,
9.
so
You're only talking about
12,000 more.
18,000. I mean, you know, for that kind
12,000
of money, to keep him on schedule and his 25, which he's really comfortable with and it's needed, and believe me, I appreciate it when I was in fires, so it's,
But the
So
things
3
that-
more is 13,500.
Yeah, the things that we cut, I would say that my say would be to add 3 more into his budget for next year.
and I would recommend 20, do 20
You would
next
say
year.
7, 8
I
more.
would say do,
8 more.
so it comes out to, he gets his 5 this year, put 20 on for next year, that keeps him on his 25 for now, and next year, if we find out that, you know, maybe that might be too much, then we can always cut it back, but he's got his 25 for this year.
That would add a lot more.
Yeah, wasn't that 90,000?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say that my bill would be 15 for next year.
I
instead of
agree,
the-
just because the
5.
technology is going to change, and I'm hoping that the next version does not increase
Better.
risk of heat stress, because that is one of their number
Right,
one
we would be
risks.
starting all over in 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah. So if we replace too many now and new technology comes out that they like
Right.
better, they might be coming back
Yeah,
saying,
it
hey,
could be.
Right.
could we get more money to replace
Get the
these
wrong
ones?
side of the curve.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. So if we pace it out, like I talked to him over the last couple of days, and he's more than okay with stretching that out over 6 years without sacrificing safety and replacing the ones that have expired. And that's a key thing, is replacing the ones that have expired.
Absolutely.
That is the best. Yeah.
So let's start,
6
I agree, let's start with 15
16
sets.
Okay, so 15 for next
And
year.
let's see if, I start there,
15,000
Let's ask-
or 15 cents?
15
sets.
cents at
15
$4,500.
cents.
So I'll tell you how much that is.
Yeah, you're gonna need to.
All right, is everyone okay with that? Does
Well,
everyone
let's
feel
see what the
That's-
impact
comfortable?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what, let's see what the impact is, yeah.
I
See the
want to see
numbers.
what my bill is gonna be.
Right.
Okay.
So he's had 15 total. So for that line item, the total would be 67,500.
Wait,
But we're only adding
yeah,
3, which I forgot what I said that was.
1350.
So it's 13,500 additional.
The winner is?
It's not very much, it's still cents.
The
Brought it
winner
up.
is $27 a year,
So it went up nothing.
1.7% increase in the tax rate. Your tax levy is up 1.1, so you're still under 2. And we're 335,000 under the tax levy rate.
To the only resident
Okay.
in our audience still. Come on up.
You want to speak for the city?
Do you
yeah.
have to speak for
What's
the
that?
city?
You
You
can
can speak for,
The city.
no.
Come on, Brandon, let's
Do
go.
you feel that $27 with inflation the way it is a fair number for the city?
That is a
to-
very fair number.
For an average house of 150,000, so if your house is less than that, if it's 80,000, for example, you're looking at $13, $14.
That is very
14,
manageable.
yep.
That is very manageable.
Okay.
If some people can't, I don't want to say some people
I
can't.
think it's less.
But you think it's fair?
I think it's more than.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is very fair.
For the amount of things that the city provides for its residents from top to bottom, you don't find value for money like you find here almost anywhere else in the state. That's
Aw, Jordan.
City
that's
attorney, would you like to
sweet.
speak as a resident? Do you think that that's fair?
well, but that's why I'm saying
He's on his phone.
$1 million house for them.
I think what this council wanted to accomplish was to try to get it under 2%, which we did with a lot of work and a lot of help from the department heads
Yes.
and the mayor.
Yes.
So
And I would say I didn't try to solve for any one number.
No.
I tried to solve for what was the most equitable and fair.
Sure.
Yeah.
And deliver the services that people needed. And I think you're right, there is a great value of service they receive. But the reality is, there's pressure in our community, economic pressure in our community, to be fair to those pressures, I think the hard work the budget committee, the selections of the budget committee made, I appreciate the efforts that you put in, the council that did the homework and did the research, that was great. If I made one observation, it came in police, and of course, it's something I think that is an initiative we ought to continue on, the clinicians into our first responder environment, as it relates to expenses and services in our community, at the hospital, at mental health, and the other social providers in our community. I think that's one that if we can fill, the chief said he's working on ways that reimbursements that we can realize greater value and greater depth of service in that area. But I think this is reflective of a very cooperative, hard work, respectful of the taxpayers and respectful of the employees that serve the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
thank you so much.
Just for giggles, right? What would it be to add the 90?
94,000, wasn't it?
94, I think it was, no, it's 90, I had 98 written down.
Okay.
What, to mental health counselor?
I remember.
I'm just curious,
that's-
what would
yeah,
it
I'm
be, what it would
In
be?
fairness, though,
Yeah, I'm curious too.
I think adding that without knowing what the offsetting revenue that he
It
then
would
would
be less.
realize, because he did say that's a gross number,
Yeah,
that if he can model some net numbers, it's probably a number closer to 60
or less,
or
potentially,
less.
potentially
So that's,
less.
I want to be, us as a council, be ready to accept his amendment if he
Right.
can give us better numbers.
Could you just throw it in there,
Just-
though,
yeah,
so we can
let's just
see
throw
it?
it.
You can take it out.
Way to go.
Yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
speculate
No,
on things
right,
we
just-
don't
right,
know.
Just tell me how much you want.
Add
98.
90,
Just
add
at
98.
the top dollar.
Just for that.
98.
Yep, for the top dollar. I just want to see what it would come
I
to.
gotta be able to find it, so let me throw a color on it.
Yes, thank you.
2% under is fantastic with, to piggyback on what Mr. Fitzgibbon
How, can you scroll down to the cost per,
is
yes.
huge.
Oh, that's the,
We don't, that's the,
That's
Mr.
the city
Attorney.
That's the city attorney's house.
That's a really nice house.
It was very nice of her. $51, what were we comparing it to? Can you put 150 in? It was
Yeah,
27 for 150.
You'll be at 2.45%.
39?
So it's 39, it's $10, $12 more.
Well, it's 2.47%.
Yeah,
You know,
no, but it's
4 or 5.
something to think about for the future.
Because there's staffing,
Yes.
and there's a tail,
Yes.
there's a ramp up of it.
Something to
And
think
it might
about. But we're
not be
aware
the
of
net- The net of 98, it could be a number like 60 or 50, but I really think that that's the evolution of public safety, and
Yeah.
that's the evolution.
important
Well,
factor.
with the remainder of that 500,000, we took 252. The remainder of 500,000, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Down the road.
Yeah.
If we don't come up
Yes.
with anything else, that would be something.
No, we're taking it out.
No, take it out.
We're taking it out for today.
Just wanted to see, just
We
for
just, thank you,
funsies.
we just wanted to see.
That could be something that would be we could use it for, which would benefit the entire
So to
city.
recap, at this point, this is what we've done in the past. And I'm just suggesting it, since I'm not in charge here, but I've made a note of all your changes here, all right? Colleen and I tomorrow will go through and make sure we get all the right numbers, right, Colleen?
yeah,
And I'm going to put them in what we call a budget amendment format. And I'll send them to all you guys to make sure we're all on the same page, that everything we've talked about, all the changes we've made are correct. It's good to have 7 or 8 eyes looking at it, so it's not just Colleen and I looking at it, okay? I'll send that out to you tomorrow. and you guys look at it, because tomorrow is Thursday, and I did ask, and I'm just assuming, if we're all good here, and all those budget amendments that I give you, you're good with it, I would like to put them on the agenda for Monday, and then vote on the amended budget. Is that agreeable to all you guys?
Yeah, I think you could put it on, and if we find something major, I mean, which would be, we could always,
You could
pull
do it off the
it.
floor.
Yeah, we could always pull it, but you can.
Not pull it, no. My first budget, one of the counselors did it right off the floor, because he found something at the last minute.
No,
And
no,
we
could-
got a
I think-
playground at Kingston Park School out of that.
I think,
Cost to critical mission assets, correct? There's
Hmm?
nothing, there is no loss of function.
no, none.
No.
No, all services are still intact.
It's getting better, we're getting more
Bless you.
scholars.
Here's a general question. Everybody satisfied with the process as imperfect as it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we did
Thank
well.
you very much.
I would like to clear up where
Yeah,
Simon
thank you
agrees.
so much.
Don't hit us, Colleen.
Thank you, Colleen.
I don't have any in my heart.
No, she'll have to go.